Hello, hola. I'll be right back, guys. Come on in. Hi, Snowdrop. Hi, Maria. Hello, hello, hello. You go shut their door. Hola, hola. Woo, okay. Hello, Rosemary. Thank you so much, Snowdrop, for my lovely gifts. It's that stupid stuff. Thank you so much. I'm going to use my bag that you gave me, Snowdrop, as a makeup bag. Mm-hmm. I put my ears on today. I saw Maggie with hers on. So these are my daughters. These are not my ears. These are her Minnie Mouse ears when she went to Disney World, Disneyland, the one in Florida or California. Is it California? Yeah, California. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you're here, Snowdrop. I haven't seen you in a minute. Okay, I got some great content today. We are not talking about Diddy, as you can see. Diddy will be back on tomorrow when we go to court. To me, there's nothing else really to say unless we just talk about our own personal opinions about how Florida. I don't think it was Florida. Because Florida's it wasn't the big one. It wasn't like Walt Disney, but it was Disneyland. Disneyland. Isn't it one in California, Snowdrop? Hello, Maria. Beautiful Maria. Hello, Rosemary. Hello, Kamara. Kamari. It's Kamari. I got it. Kamari. Don't forget to support Kamari's channel. She has a channel. Yes, she does. It was pretty interesting. I was looking at her channel yesterday. Yeah, the California one is the one I went to, Rosemary. Okay. Talk about who you want to talk about, Lady Letitia. We like to hear you. Oh, thank you. Because sometimes I think I talk too much and I'm not giving the content enough. Whoa, we're going to have a great time today. All right. We're going to talk about Meghan. We're going to talk about some of the things that keeps her from being successful. Some of the things that keeps her on the most loser list every year. And the denial that she's in. She doesn't understand what she has done. She hasn't grasped on the concept of the things that she has done. And we're going to talk about it so we can remind, especially some of our new people that may come in, like Joy and partners. They're just getting to know the real side of Meghan. I haven't seen Ziggy Lee Chick with a crown in a while. She must be busy. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate you guys' compliments. Thank you. Letitia, I was just starting Nancy Gray when I saw you were live. It's about Diddy throwing Prince Harry in his messy mix. If you want to play that later, sounds interesting. I will try to get to that, SCJ. And hello, by the way, my lovely SCJ. Hello, Dictator. Um, I have two videos, but I may just do that, Nancy Grace, because she's very interesting. I like her. She really gets down to the nitty gritty. Where is Mo? I don't know. Oh, yeah, Mo was the sugar. Yeah, he comes every now and then. They. So let's take a vote. Do you guys want to hear what I have to say about Meghan first? Or do you want to go to Nancy Grace and see what she's got going on over there? Oh, I want to try something really quick to see if it will work. It didn't work last time, but I want to see if it'll work this time. Nope. It's interesting that it blocks it like that.
My dear friend is coming over, and I thought before we go for a little hike.
So this was going to be Netflix.
So sun tea is something that I've been making for a very long time.
But unfortunately,
when I was a kid, and now I make it with my own kids. It's really easy. It's just tea.
Tea for your own kids. Why are you making tea?
But you can use nice silk bags, get lots of loose leaf tea, whichever ones you prefer, and you just let it steep with the warmth of the sun. You could use any sort of tea that you like. So I like hibiscus.
Now put the spin in my wheels.
And take a little bit of that.
Don't fence me in. Say freedom.
I love to dehydrate citrus. This is Meyer lemon, which is great.
Fence me in.
She's slow.
Maybe a little bit.
Too bad you guys can't see it, so we'll move on.
Might have a nice,
we will also think about doing, I probably won't have time to do another one of her shows. We believe Mo is Murph. Okay, let's get to the Mimi song and then let's get to the show. Bridget rants. Okay. Hello, Payne. Oh no, I never think that you guys always give me wonderful suggestions. And I love that about you guys because there's some things that I don't know about that you tell me about that helps with my platform, SEJ. So I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate your suggestion because I really like Nancy Grace. I didn't put Diddy in the what's the name? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and see Nancy Grace. Hold on a sec. All right. Okay, here we go.
Troll.
Oh, I was listening to this a little bit earlier, but before we get to breaking news, let's get to the Mimi song, and we'll do the Motown because you guys seem to like that the most. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, relaxing. I need to clean. I need to clean. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. I'm getting it together though. My house is you're gonna be able to eat off the floor. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. Yeah. The Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show. The Mimi Show. It's the Mimi Show.
So we're gonna talk about we're gonna watch Nancy Grace for about a few minutes and see what she's talking about Diddy and Harry. Breaking news. Because he was named in Cassie's lawsuit. The Mimi Show. Hello, Queen's Guard. Hello, highly sensitive introvert. Hello, Pain. All right. Don't forget to hit the like or do button. Don't forget to hit that share button as well. And don't forget about the super chats and super stickers that are available. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. It really helps. It goes a long way, even 99 cents. So thank you so much for whatever you decide to give or do, or thank you for my members for already being members of my channel. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy the members' content. The last member video was my wedding video, and I put it under members only. All right. I had an allergy. Oh, okay. You took an allergy pill or something. I hope you feel better, Dictator, very, very soon. And here's the link if anybody wants to come up. It's totally up to you guys. It's no pressure. Okay, I'm getting into it. Let's see what Nancy Grace is talking about.
Tonight, Diddy sucks Prince Harry into a sex traffic cesspool. This as Justin Bieber makes a bombshell announcement amid claims he too was abused by Sean
Really?
Combs. Diddy grilling Cassie on an NFL mystery lover as a Chris.
Justin Bieber said that he was, I know there's a rumor that he was with Diddy, Justin Bieber, but did Justin Bieber come out and say that he was abused by Diddy? She's going to make me look it up. Bieber. Justin. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber admit Diddy news about Justin Bieber admits Diddy abused him. What the hell? Okay. Justin Bieber breaks silence on Diddy abuse rumors. Justin Bieber is not among these alleged abusers by Diddy reports. Justin Bieber denies being one of Diddy's victims. There are individuals who, so he says that he's not. So why is Nancy Grace saying that he is? After years of swinging rumors suggesting Justin Bieber was sexually abused by Sean Diddy Combs as a teenager, the singer finally broke his silence on the chatter for the victims to receive the justice they rightfully deserve. PR experts believe the move wasn't just a delay, but a calculated media plot to reclaim his power and position himself as a symbol of survival and allyship. This comes amidst reports that Justin Bieber sold his music I don't know. It's still not giving me the 411. Let's get back to the show.
Brown romance revealed. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Hello, Dictator.
This as reports of.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you all? I just had an allergy tablet, so I'm not sure if I can be on. I'm trying to stay awake.
Okay. Well, we would love to have you as long as you can stay, lovely. Thank you for coming.
That's okay. Thank you for having me.
We're going to talk about Diddy a little bit with Nancy Grace. And then I have a video with Pierce Morgan, and it's good. We're going to talk about why Meghan's popularity is so bad and why it will never, ever come out of the gutter. And what is going to happen to these two next? Because
oh God, her ship has sailed, I'm afraid. Please.
Okay. Did you see Dan and Lady C giving Paula M credit for Little Bit's birth certificate? There's a birth certificate, highly sensitive interval. Paula's going to get me. She's going to say, you're not watching my shows.
Why did she not let you watch it? She came on the other day and put one of them on there.
Yeah, I do watch her shows. I do. I watch them. But I wonder, she stayed on the birth certificate. So she's got a copy of it.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I saw a preview. Wow, it's so much. We may touch on that too. Oh yeah, it's gonna annoy them. Snowdrop. Seems like there's some other stuff going on that is just real disgusting. So moving on. I think he actually denied it, not confirmed. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, you said no. I think he just wants to just get on with his life and just
Right. Let's put the rumors to
leave it
bed.
alone. Yeah. He looks ill, Justin Bieber. He looks like he's in a bad way.
He doesn't look good at all.
No, he
He
doesn't.
looks sad. He looks like there's something on his mind. He doesn't look happy. He looks
No.
depressed. And then I heard that he had to sell his records for money.
Yeah, apparently he's broke. He's got no money.
How does that happen?
I know.
All he
They
got to
just,
do is write another song. He can sing,
yeah.
but he might be
And
depressed to do it.
yeah, and I don't know about his marriage. He doesn't look like he likes her. I don't know. I never
No,
got that.
he never was in love with her. He was in love with
No.
Selena. He might be going through because she's getting married.
Yeah.
And
He always looks quite mean to her. He always looks
quite
really
mean
mean to her.
to which one?
Justin Bieber to his wife, Hailey. He always looks quite
Yeah.
mean to her.
He doesn't like her.
No.
I don't really get
They
that.
shouldn't have had that baby. I don't know what they had that baby for.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Crazy.
That's a good question. I don't either because it looked like it didn't help.
No.
Like he would be a good dad.
I think
Not
he
to
would.
say he's
Once he
not.
gets in, I think he needs to go into rehab and get himself out of
Yeah,
the
he
spotlight
needs to
for a
get.
couple of years.
Yeah,
Take a couple of years off, get out of the spotlight, sort himself out because he's got a baby now, whether he likes her or not.
good
But he's
point.
got a baby now.
Hmm.
He's got to do it for him.
That's so true. It is not about you anymore.
No, once
Did
you
you
got one of
really
them
not
little
make it
ones,
about
that's
you?
it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that. First of all, Beaver don't know who the hell Jaguar is. She's a wannabe. She is a washed up wannabe superstar. She had her moment in the spotlight, jacked that up, and now she's just this known liar. In my book. And she loves YouTube.
Oh, you're talking about Jagster?
Yeah, there's another video out there too, of P Dinah, and if we get to it, it's just
Okay.
2 videos.
Oh, I saw the one with her and Dan Wootton. I saw that one.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it if we can.
Yes, let's get those likes up, guys. Thank you.
I think he was. I think he was abused by Diddy.
I do too. I
I
do
think.
believe that he was, and I think he's just
Yeah.
in denial. He introduced him to drugs. He introduced him to a lot of sexual stuff. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
There's quite a lot of evidence out there that he was, but I think he just wants to just leave it and move on with his life. And
Right. Trauma.
he's always probably re-traumatized because of all the case and stuff. Just leave
Yes.
him be. Leave him be. You know.
Yes. The case itself is, yeah. It is not the case of the century, but it is a huge, huge case. It is not everybody knows what's going on for the most part.
Yeah.
you know, and know
And
who
it's
he
not
is.
nice. Stuff coming out. It's not nice. It's horrible.
Right. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button. Thank you so very much for supporting the channel. And don't forget about the super stickers and super chats. You can also bless the channel with that as well. And sharing my memberships. Okay, let's get back to Grace.
Is Tootsie Roll.
She is comparing Combs to a Tootsie Roll.
Itty bitty ditty.
A Tootsie Roll.
Itty bitty ditty, the Tootsie Roll.
Oh my God, is his private part small?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, it's the size of a Tootsie Roll.
Oh my God. You don't even have nothing going on down there, and the nerve of you to be this freaky. Wow. A itty bitty Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Oh, poor Diddy.
I've just got to sort this cat out. Come on, do you want to go into there?
Roll. Sean Combs is Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I said that, but I didn't say it first. An alleged victim said it first. But let's get to now. Joining us outside the courthouse, Lauren Conlon, investigative reporter and star of Pup Crime TV. Lauren, thank you for being with us. What is this I'm hearing about a mystery NFL lover? And what does that have to do with Sean Combs being charged with sex trafficking and RICO, criminal enterprise? They're just dragging Cassie through the mud for no reason.
I agree with you, Nancy. A lot of what we're hearing on the stand from Cassie, many of us are questioning what this has to do with anything besides laying a foundation. But the NFL player, we heard about this mysterious NFL player that really was trying to get us to see why Diddy was jealous. We also heard about a 2013 incident where Diddy was jealous of Cassie because she was allegedly dancing with Chris Brown and he stole her phone. Cassie actually denied on the stand that she was dancing with Chris Brown at all, but she does remember him stealing her phone. There was another incident we heard about that was pretty traumatizing for her, where she was driving with Diddy in the car to a doctor's appointment and he told her, "Hey, text your mom you're okay." And I'm paraphrasing. As soon as she unlocked her phone, she said that Diddy grabbed it, ran off with it, and she didn't get it back for a few hours, and her mom called the police.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to follow up with a shrink in just a few moments about the type of power and control. When I was working at the Battered Women's Center as a volunteer, Lauren, at that juncture, everybody was still tethered to the wall with a phone, right? And the perp would snatch the phone out of the wall. Here, same thing, different decade. So what else is happening in the courtroom beside the defense trying to drag Cassie Ventura through the mud? And after a moment, a particular moment of shredding her on cross-exam, Sean Combs had a hot mic incident where you could hear him say, "I'm proud of you," to the lawyer that was attacking Cassie Ventura.
I thought that her approach was gentle. She wasn't badgering Cassie, and that was strategic. Well, we are not really seeing that on the remainder of the cross. We're seeing a lot of Cassie being called out for things. You know, she had alleged an incident where Diddy seemed to have this almost mafioso type dinner, and these are my words, after she heard about someone allegedly having an FO tape. Well, there was an explosive recording played where Cassie approached this person about the FO tape, and she said things like, "I will kill you. I will bury you under the dirt." Again, I'm paraphrasing. And then she said, "And it won't be me. I won't have blood on my hands. It'll be someone else." So, you know, that wasn't great. I did feel for Cassie on that.
And oh, Nancy, we actually heard about Jonathan Odie. We actually heard from Cassie herself that she saw him hold up a phone during an FO, and she went to tell Sean Combs. And the prosecutor asked her, well, do you know what happened? Did he pay him off? Do you know about this? Cassie alleged she didn't know, but the rest of us know what happened.
So wait, you're telling me that it just came out on the stand that Jonathan Odie was brought up, and we've got him on tape saying in like 2018 that he was a sex slave to Sean Combs, and that Combs would make him have sex with Cassie Ventura and sit back and watch the whole time, and that Combs paid him off. He even mentioned Mark Garagos in that 2018
Ew.
recording. That's not the best picture he ever took. But that said, now Odie has come out as part of the cross-examination, and Cassie Ventura describes an incident where Odie was videoing a freak off, as you say, FO.
Yes, apparently he lifted his phone up and she freaked out and she told Sean Combs, and she alleged that she didn't know that he paid him off, but she knew that essentially he, quote, took care of it. Also, the company they were using, the escort company, it's called Cowboys and Angels. It was revealed that this escort service was part of a reality show called Gigolos.
Okay, you know, Lauren Collin, you're just full of probative information. You know, what they're doing right now is dragging Cassie Ventura through the mud in an attempt to make her look like the bad person. But I still say that
Wow,
tape, that intercontinental tape, is going to carry the day. What else has happened on the stand today?
Maury.
So speaking of trying to make Cassie look bad, they brought up a slew of text messages after that incident. And I know what they were going for. I mean, they were trying to say that they had a relationship after the incident. But in my opinion, as an observer, Cassie said something like, you know, I don't want Friday to happen again, you know, referencing the beatdown. And Diddy said something like, F Friday, LOL. And she kind of said LOL back. And I'm thinking, I mean, that's how you want to treat, you know, a beatdown like that. When you abuse the person you love, you say LOL, F Friday. I didn't think that made Diddy look good. And I know they were trying to make Cassie look bad for corresponding with him. Additionally, Cassie had alleged a that occurred in August of 2018. And the defense attorney found transcripts where she told the government that it happened in September of 2018, really trying to, again, poke holes in her story. And they also showed us text messages between Cassie and Diddy after the alleged, where he said, I know I didn't turn you on. I've fallen off. And she responds with a heart emoji. So there's a lot of that going on. And I have to say, Nancy, it's been so wild to hear the evidentiary stuff before the trial starts, because it's like we're sitting there and we're listening to a federal judge say the term freak off, which is just wild.
It is.
Guys, joining us.
Finally, I can stop it. Look, the judge freak off, baby oil, naming all these different drugs. I bet it is everybody. If I was in that jury room, I would be tripping about the conversations we are having live. Excuse me, because all this is bedroom talk.
It's not nice. It is. It's not nice.
No, and the judge is up there talking about freak offs.
Yeah.
Can't even imagine. Excuse me.
Piss plays and all.
Right.
Piss plays and everything else. It's horrid.
Piss party. Piss
parties and it's horrid.
Yes, at the courthouse, star of Pop Crime TV, co-host Lauren Conlon. Lauren, we've heard about Jonathan Odie. We've heard about a mystery NFL lover. What was that about? You told me about Chris Brown, but what about the NFL star?
Listen, I don't know much about sports, but I plan on looking this up after, because that was a moment that many of us were like, who did she date in the NFL? And I believe the year, don't quote me on this, but it was sometime between 2013 and 2015.
Lauren Conlon, tell me how Cassie is holding up on the stand. How does she look today?
She looks beautiful. Her hair is down. She has a white shirt and a black jacket. And again,
Her
she
mom was saying hello.
remains poised. She remains composed. She's answering the questions as best she can.
Get your freak
And
off.
we're going
Get your
through
freak off.
pages and pages of text messages from 10 years ago.
Or,
So it's trying.
get
And
your freak
when I was
off.
leaving the courtroom for lunch, I
freak
saw her
off.
lawyers walk in, bringing her some Dunkin' Donuts for lunch.
And how is the jury responding? How did their
Hi,
demeanors
Susan.
throughout the day today?
Overall, this jury has been very stoic, very rarely showing emotion, as well as Combs' family. Everyone seems to be pretty composed.
Lauren Conlon joining us outside the courtroom.
freak
I'll
off.
talk to you in just a few moments, Lauren Conlon. Let's bring
freak
in the
off.
entire panel. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we are learning right now.
Sissy
But
Rowe.
first, I want to go
It's
straight
Sissy
out to
Rowe.
Robert Crispin joining
That's a song
us.
too.
Private investigator at Crispin Special Investigations, but for my purposes, former federal task force officer for the United States Department of Justice, DEA Miami Field Division, never lack of business, former homicide, and for today, former vice cop. Robert Crispin, I put a lot of female victims on the stand, okay? I've put a female preacher on the stand. I've taken a depo from a nun in a different case. I've put prostitutes on the stand. I've put dope addicts on the stand. It never fails, whether it's a female preacher or a prostitute. They get dragged through the mud. Everything they've ever said or done wrong, according to society in the past, is brought up. So they've got Cassie Ventura threatening somebody. And I'm going to go to Sydney Sumner to explain why she was threatening someone. And it's caught on video and they play it. I mean, think about it, Robert, not out loud, please. The worst thing you've ever done, the worst moment, not just talking about it, but actually having it on video. The worst thing, the thing you don't want your children to know about. Okay. Everybody hold that thought just a moment. And then a video emerges and it's played in front of a jury. She is being attacked for having other lovers, for some claimed flirtation with Chris Brown. All right.
Yeah, right.
You would want him after the way he treated Rihanna, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Just see what I'm saying? They're talking about her drug use. They're talking about a violent episode, a violent threat she made, and it's caught on video. They're doing everything they can to demonize Cassie Ventura. And you and I have seen it a million times, Crispin.
Yeah, they're trying to make her look really bad in front of that jury. But sadly enough, all the drugs, all the stuff that she was doing was an escape.
Okay.
It was an escape from her mind to get away from Diddy into a different world.
I wanted to skip some of this. I want to get to the hairy part, but I wasn't able to find it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If you guys know where it is, just let me know and we'll skip to it.
So I saw things on X today, but I saw it on X and I just, there's an article, but I don't know if it's real or not, but apparently Harry was saying that because his name got linked, he's traumatized and his children are traumatized because
His
he was.
children don't know what the hell is going on.
I know. So he was saying he's traumatized and his children are traumatized because his name has been linked with Diddy. And he said, oh, the son is trying to retaliate against him by doing all of these, like the newspapers, because he took them all to court. They're retaliating against him. They're retaliating against him. They're traumatizing him and his children. And he said, this is the reason why I left the royal family. So he's changed his story again. But I don't know if it's real, but I saw it on Twitter.
What does Diddy have to do with him leaving the royal family?
Exactly. He's just making up stories. Nothing is ever his fault. But again, I don't know if that was real. It was an article, but I don't know if it was real.
Prince Harry has been named in a $30 million lawsuit That was back in the day. Prince Harry linked to Diddy calls unvile in new court documents. Let's see. Here it is. Prince Harry addresses Diddy's allegations and how they affect Meghan. Who gives a damn? The drama going on with the British royal family has always involved the media. Hold on. The drama going on with the British royal family has always involved the media in one way or another. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been in the eye of the storm ever since they decided to take a step back from royal duties and more of the United States. And yet, even as rumors swirl about Prince William and Catherine's marriage, Prince Harry's marriage has remained steady. That's that BS.
Jesus, they just put that all out. The happiest they've ever been. We're on honeymoon period. Oh my God.
It's a good thing considering how many outside issues there are. Okay, I don't want to talk about that. Okay. And now it has surfaced that within Prince Harry's claim for damages over alleged unlawful behavior at NGN's newspaper, which was settled in January, there were allegations about the Sun newspaper and its motivations for publishing articles trying Harry with Sean Diddy Combs. In the court documents, as reported by the Gardner, Prince Harry claimed the Sun was motivated by revenge. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I read today on Twitter.
Blaming. There we go, blaming again.
Yeah.
Revenge when. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if it all comes out about Diddy, I think he's laying the foundations. So when it all comes out about Diddy, he's going to go, no, it's not. This is the newspapers retaliating. The newspapers lying about me because I took them all to court. He's trying to lay the foundations.
Right. No, that's BS. If we see your little naked self running around doing crazy stuff, we're going to know for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's not AI, Harry. Documents point to this story among a large number of negative articles published by news groups. Whatever. According to Harry, the articles had a hugely negative impact on his mental health and that of his wife and children. That's that stupid stuff. You just said that. Yep. Now, all of a sudden, he's not doing well, and his kids and his wife. Wasn't they just at the Beyonce concert?
Yeah. What about the mental health of your families, Harry?
Yeah.
Being called racist and being ripped to pieces, you're ripping them to pieces in bloody your interviews and your books. What about their mental health? Oh, he's such a baby.
He is. And he whines all the time.
Non-stop.
He's become a whiner for her. A big fat baby.
And they've got all these bullying allegations against them. They're these awful people behind the scenes, but yet in the public, we're just victims. Oh,
it's crazy.
Innocent victims.
Okay, we are going on to this. And you treat them like this.
And Oprah should have been looked in. I was just looking at Snowdrop's comments. Oprah should have been looked into many years ago.
Yes.
That's a whole nother show, Oprah.
Yeah, it is.
Just has to notify.
She wanted the story. Oh, the bombshell moment for me was, this is Oprah. Excuse me. The bombshell moment for me was when she mentioned something about, Archie's skin color and how that was gonna. That's what she said. And then years later, when Princess, the Queen Mother was passing away, she's gonna say she didn't know that there was gonna be a bombshell. You liar, pants on fire.
Yeah. Then he said on the Tom Bradbury interview later on, and Tom Bradbury goes, "Oh, you're talking about the colour of the racism claims," and Harry goes, we never said it was racist. The press said it was racist." And Tom Bradbury's like, what? And he goes, "No, it's the press said it. We never said that." And he went, "You just did a whole Netflix, Oprah, you stupid book about racism," and then he completely denied it all.
Yeah, and
we never said it. The press said it. Oh.
No, the press didn't say it. Your mother-in-law said it.
Yeah, she did. That was like racism coming down the pike or something like that, she said.
Yeah, she said pure racism. It was pure racism. We should watch that one day if we could. Piss us off. What's going on in the chat, guys? Please make sure you hit the like button for me and support the channel. It really goes a long way.
Them with his trips on a case-by-case basis. He's not a working royal, therefore he doesn't get the automatic round-the-clock service that a working royal gets. Most of the public, almost all of the media, and other judges in one of Britain's top courts think that is fair enough. Harry, of course, thinks it's deeply unfair. He says he's not safe in the UK, although he's reportedly safe enough to order a Deliveroo to his friend's house when he was over here last, and to go to Ukraine, which apparently he viewed as safer, clearly, than the UK. In his bombshell BBC interview, he blamed pretty much everybody, of course, as usual, other than himself, including his father, the king, who is currently, of course, suffering from cancer.
I've never asked him to intervene. I've asked him to step out of the way and let the experts do their job.
Liar.
But ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him.
By stepping in.
Not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary.
An establishment stitch-up, he called it. This is, of course, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, the Earl of Dumbarton, and Baron Kilkeel. That's pretty establishment, buddy. This is a delusional, treacherous, bitter little man who's completely lost touch with all reality. A multi-millionaire who's raked in a fortune by regularly abusing his family and regurgitating private stories in books and TV shows, while simultaneously lecturing the rest of us about not invading privacy. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it, that he should expect us to pay for him to live as a celebrity. In a half-hearted appeal to the sympathy vote, he said he would like to reconcile with his father before crudely and shockingly speculating on his father's battle with cancer.
I don't know how much longer my father has.
That's so bad.
He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
He won't speak to you because you're a tough.
It would be nice to reconcile.
You think that's the only reason he doesn't want to talk to you, Harry? It's not that you trust him, his wife, your brother, your brother's wife, everybody else, calling them all a bunch of callous racists. Think that might have played some part in why none of them want to talk to you or trust you as far as they can throw you? Now, obviously, if Harry did want to reconcile with his father, then perhaps he wouldn't be repeatedly attacking him on TV. The fact is that he and Meghan have become a waning brand of vanishingly limited interest to the American or the British public. Their only currency that works is to peddle very unpleasant stuff about the family and monarchy that they abandoned and are now apparently on a mission to destroy. Now, the king can end this feud. Harry's right, but not by shaking hands with this treacherous little weasel, but by stripping him and his wife of the royal titles that they love to use for commercial gain without doing any of the work that comes with being.
You know, I think her having the titles really cheapens it.
It does. It does, actually.
Yeah. It really, there's a cheapness about it.
Yeah.
That you can walk around and call herself the Duchess of Sussex, and she's just trashy to me.
Absolutely right. They both have
a working royal in this country. And we saw that, of course, as the VE Day celebrations happened this week. That's what a real royal does. They don't lounge in a California mansion spending the ill-gotten gains they make from trashing their family. Well, to debate all this, I'm joined in the studio by Uncensored contributor and family lawyer Paula Rowan-Adrian and Vanity Fair royal correspondent Katie Nicholl, plus from the United States by the Daily Mail columnist Maureen Callahan and the LA-based royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. So welcome to all of you. I do want to start, Katie, by saying welcome back. Because viewers may not know this as to why you've not been on this show for quite a while, but you actually, it turned out, were secretly, you didn't tell anyone, you were having your own battle with cancer. You wrote incredibly movingly about it. You've come out the other end. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm doing very well, thank you. And I'm delighted to be back doing what I enjoy doing. And actually delighted to see the King and the Princess of Wales, who have, of course, gone through their own cancer diagnosis, you know, putting a spotlight on it, smashing stigmas and doing what the royal family do so well. So I just think that message is listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, get it checked out.
Well, it's great to have you back. And I really mean that. We've been friends a long time and you went very quiet for a long period. We were all very worried about you. And now we don't have to worry. You look fabulous. So it's great to see you. Just to start with you, Katie, though, about what's gone on here. If ever we saw the two sides of these two, I call them two, because one's a renegade royal family operating in America, a sort of splinter group, and one is the actual royal family here doing what we expect of them. The contrast couldn't be more marked. People doing their duty today in front of hordes of people in London to celebrate the 80th anniversary of VE Day, obviously one of the great moments in the country's history. And then Harry, you know, in the build up to this, when it's the last thing the royal family would have wanted, out he comes spray gunning all the royals again, including his father, who, you know, he tells the world now isn't talking to him and disingenuously claims it's only because of his security issue, when of course it isn't.
Well, it was extraordinary. And I've just come off the back of the coverage for the BBC for the VE Day commemorations. And, you know, you are struck with that sort of the irony of the situation. You've got the royal family up there representing the armed forces, a military family themselves. And of course, the one serving member of the royal family, or the one who'd served 2 tours of Afghanistan, Prince Harry, was notable by his absence. And I think we'd all hoped that there would be an opportunity that he might be able to come back to Britain in some sort of circumstance. But frankly,
actually, I didn't.
Well, but his behaviour.
I don't want them stealing all the attention away from the event, which is all they ever do.
Well,
coming over, yapping away, and then going back with all the new information they gleaned from their family to go and sell it onto American television.
Well, it was very nearly overshadowed, of course, by that BBC interview, and very much the guidance we were getting from the palaces that please can we keep the focus of today on the veterans, on VE Day, which of course it was. But, you know, Prince Harry has lost his place at that table. He has lost his place on that balcony.
And just be clear, voluntarily. Let me bring in Maureen. I mean, Maureen, I think you share my view of these two. What's interesting is a lot of people in Britain ask me, I've just been in America for a month, for example, along both coasts. And they say, you know, what do Americans think of them? I said, you know what? I think they find them really dull. And the only interesting thing they think about them is when they're trashing their family, and it's all good, juicy.
The focus of today on the veterans, on VE Day, which of course it might be able to come back to Britain in some sort of circumstance. But frankly,
actually, I didn't.
Well, but his behaviour.
I don't want them stealing all the attention away from the event, which is all they ever do.
Well,
coming over, yapping away, and then going back with all the new information they gleaned from their family to go and sell it onto American television.
Well, it was very nearly overshadowed, of course, by that BBC interview, and very much the guidance we were getting from the palaces that please can we keep the focus of today on the veterans, on VE Day, which of course it was. But, you know, Prince Harry has lost his place at that table. He has lost his place on that balcony.
And just be clear, voluntarily. Let me bring in Maureen. I mean, Maureen, I think you share my view of these two. What's interesting is a lot of people in Britain ask me, I've just been in America for a month, for example, on both coasts. And they say, you know, what do Americans think of them? I said, you know what? I think they find them really dull. And the only interesting thing they think about them is when they're trashing their family, and it's all good, juicy, salacious gossip, which is what we saw again with Harry this week. But it's been diminishing returns for a long time. And as somebody pointed out to me today, they supposedly left to have a happiness and a freedom. And yet all we keep hearing is how trapped they still feel and how obviously unhappy they must be to keep complaining.
Well, Pierce, again, I hear this all the time too from the Brits. Like, what do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan?
Yeah, they're still complaining. They're still whining about the decision that they made. They made that decision.
That's all they've got now. Everything else they've touched is crapola.
Yes.
And they've got nothing else.
No.
So that's why they just and Harry, that stupid BBC interview where he's just talking absolute, like he's talking like a crazy man,
crazy person,
crazy person, and it's still like, oh, my father, if I die, my father's fault, but the fate of my father. And you're just like, the whole world is like, oh my God, we're bored of it now.
Yes.
We're even bored of hearing it. And he's like clutching at straws going, oh, my father, he should step out of the way. My father's doing this to me now. And the whole world is like, oh, just go away, live your life.
Yes. Just go. But what's interesting about this entire subject is that the United States don't give a damn.
No.
They don't follow her. They don't know about her shows. They don't know about her lemonados. Mm-hmm. My mom still don't know, and she should know. I know. For me, just saying, just me, she should know. Excuse me. And it's just amazing how people don't follow them and don't really know who these people are. They know them, but they don't know what their current event is. They don't know about the jam being sold. The only people that know about the jam stuff is the media.
Yeah.
And us, some people that, the YouTubers. And, but they're not talked about over here. Now, guess who's getting the media attention?
Oh, the diddler.
Yes.
The diddler.
He's getting all of it. Meghan who? Meghan what? Meghan who?
I think in the early days, because they came out with this Netflix and this massive incendiary topic that they left the royal family. There was some racism and Oprah Winfrey, and it was almost like the whole world was like, oh, what did they do to you? What this horrible royal family have done to you? You had to leave, and freedom flights. The problem is, the biggest issue they had is they didn't show any receipts. And they did the book and the Netflix and the Oprah Winfrey, and it was continuously on and on and on. Right. But they didn't give any receipts, and we're all just like, you keep going on like there's this big bad demon over there, and you're running away from it, and you're this massive fight, and you didn't show any receipts. Nobody knows what you're even talking about. Every single thing that you said was proven to be wrong. We saw the fake baby bumps. We saw the plastic doll. And suddenly the world was like, do you know what, Meghan and Harry? We just don't believe you anymore.
Wow.
Always believe your eyes. We saw the fake pregnancy bump. We saw the doll. We saw the lies, and you couldn't prove any of them. And we saw you for what you were. Two little bullies. All the stories coming out about the bullies, about the press. The Hollywood Reporter, Vanity Fair, that actually they're not these little innocent victims. They are the bullies, and they're liars, pathological liars, fantasists. And we just saw them for what they were, and we're just not interested anymore.
Exactly.
Oh, I went on a rant then. Sorry, I
it was really
allergy tablet. Ding
was
ding.
really good because you brought something up that was so significant. And the fact is that they are didn't bring receipts. They don't have proof of anything
No, they
that
don't
comes out
anything.
of their mouths. And so
Yeah.
why should we believe what they say? And now every time they open their mouths, you're questioning it. Is this true? Is this a lie? The 2-hour car chase. It wasn't a car chase. Then she doubled down the next day. It's like now we know that you exaggerate and take things to a level and try to manipulate us into thinking something that is not true.
Exactly. They're master manipulators. And after a while, we go, yeah, we see you. We see you.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. It was only supposed to be 10
Yes.
minutes. And he just carried on.
Yes, I heard that it was only supposed to be 10 minutes. Look like he
Yeah.
needed to get more off his chest.
Yeah.
Made a fool out of himself.
I've just reminded myself, I was going to say this on another live, and I completely forgot. In Easter, I went to my friend's house and they had a big Easter lunch. And one of the big things we were talking about, which is where people were so turned off and more, not even turned off, but they were so angry with Harry and Meghan. And this was, if you look at Prince William, right, he was born to be king. He was trained all of his life to be king. And suddenly he gets that phone call. Your father's got cancer. The time is now. Now you're going to be king. And he's had the death of his grandmother, grandfather, and now his father is sadly got cancer, and it's going to take him. He's now going to be king, and he's been trained for all of his life. He's got Catherine and the babies, and they've already planned their life around what's going to happen when he becomes king.
Right.
He then gets another phone call that his wife has got cancer.
Right.
And for the first time in William's life, he looked to the future and he didn't know what it looked like. He didn't know if Catherine was going to make it. He didn't know if he was going to be a single father and king with 3 little kiddies.
Woo!
And he didn't know what the future looked like. And I bet in those darkest moments, he wanted his brother, his family, and his brother by his side to help him. And all his brother did was whinge and moan. Oh, it woes me, poor me and Meghan. And Harry didn't give one public statement about my sister-in-law, my father, William. He didn't phone William up and say, I'm here for you, brother. I'm going to come over and help you.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Because he know he done messed up.
Yeah,
He
just
know
not.
he's done some real evil and despicable things to them.
Yeah.
I think he's ashamed of himself. And
I don't think he has that ability to think. And I just think your father, your brother, that's your brother, your blood, who was going through the worst, the pure hell of his life. His father's sick, his wife's sick, and he's holding it all together. And he was a champion at that moment. Us British people went, that's king material. He carried on going forward.
Exactly.
And that little ginger whinger, he couldn't have even shown his brother any support at all.
No support.
And that was, I think, for a lot of UK people, we just went, we're done with you, Harry.
Wow.
No.
Just all of it, like all of it. Look how you treat your brother here. Harry, you didn't even call and say, hey, I hope everything is okay or nothing. Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, it's still about me.
Did they put out a statement?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He did. He told his brother was going through a lot then, and he had to be strong for everyone.
Yeah, he was strong for his dad, strong for his wife, strong for his children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big test of time.
Yeah.
And just still dealing with everything. And not to mention, he lost his queen and his grandfather.
Yeah. All this nightmare, just like in succession.
Right.
Grandmother, they did, and then his dad, and then his wife, potentially his wife, and it was his whole world was turned upside down, and he showed such strength throughout that. And how Harry could have gone, do you know what, bruv? I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to come over. I'm going to help you. I'm going to get all the help I need, and I'm going to be by your side. And he didn't.
What the hell? I'm sorry, Dictator, just a moment.
Right.
Letitia, hi everyone. Very saddened by President Biden grim diagnosis. What's going on with
He's got what's it, cancer? What's it, the man cancer?
prostate?
Prostate cancer. Yeah.
Okay. That can be. I mean, there's hope there.
He's got a very aggressive form, but yeah, I think that's what King Charles has got as well.
Yeah, I mean it's not curable, but I have relatives that have it, and I want to go get my husband to go get his checked out too. I know this is a subject, but it's just scary.
Yeah.
And if you catch it early enough, you're good.
Yeah. It's very treatable if you get it early.
Yeah, it's very treatable. I really enjoy your conversation today, Dictator. I enjoy it all the time.
Oh, good.
Here.
Sometimes I think I'm just talking about rubbish.
No, it's really, really good. Things that, that I'm like, wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, I pray that Joe Biden gets better soon.
Yeah, it's gone to his bones. Yeah, he's got prostate cancer. It's gone to his bones.
Is that not good?
Yeah, I mean he's of an age, isn't he? So
yeah,
I hope he's going to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't have any plans today. I have been hanging out at the house, sleeping all day. And then my husband said, hey, please run around with her. And so I started running around with her for like 15, 20 minutes. And I said, okay, I ran around with her. He started laughing. I was just kidding. But they're both asleep because they both were up before me and were doing their thing and stuff. And so we probably won't do anything today.
Oh, that's nice.
We probably we were going to go swimming, but the weather is not allowing us to do that. Tune the news. Hello. It spread to his bones. That's not good. That just doesn't sound good. I have to say a prayer for him. Shoot. Yeah, I liked what Dictator was saying, JD, about William, and because William was there for him for his fakery wedding that was going on, that spectacle.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that even no matter how I've had it in my own family when we've all had falling outs and we don't speak, but the minute one of you needs help, you put it aside and you go and help them. And that's what I found. That's what I found so awful about Harry. Just he couldn't put it all aside and go, right, I'm going to come back and help my family. No.
Right.
despise them. We have had a conclave of sorts. We have come to a universal response. We are a single organism. We despise them. I loved how you described Harry and Meghan as sort of a splinter group of a royal camp in America. It made me think of, I think of them as sort of emotional terrorists. And I think of them, it's sort of like ISIS, being an outgrowth of Al Qaeda, a splinter group. And that's what they're doing. And I listened very closely to that BBC interview, which was full of rage, grievance, a false claim, in my opinion, by Harry that he wants resolution. He lives for unresolved conflict. Yeah. Otherwise, he's got nothing going. And also the implication, which shows you how paranoid, delusional, and utterly lost he is. Piers, he walked right up to saying, the royal family wants me dead.
Yeah, it did. It was unbelievable. All right, well, let's turn to the resident they can do no wrong member of the panel. Paula, you've been on a lovely holiday. Been following your travails travails is not quite the right word, your luxurious travels through Italy. So welcome back. Looking very well and rested. Go on then, try and defend this.
Do you know what?
Did you watch the whole thing?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I've read as much as I can feasibly read. But I just want to focus on the whole defence thing. You talk about me defending the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This isn't about defending. What this is about actually is me saying, where are we in terms of a monarchy? Do we want a strong monarchy? Do we want a long-lasting monarchy?
Yes and yes.
Because if we do, then we need to stop attacking and start supporting.
What the hell does that got to do with anything? Nothing. The only thing that it is doing, it is shining a light on William, Catherine, and King Charles. Every time these two do stupid things, we turn around and we're looking at the royals. And they're going on with their business.
Yeah.
But in private, they're talking about things. They're talking about him. There he goes again, attacking us. There he goes again, but we're going to put on our best face and move on. He's the one that's hurting, not us.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what she's talking about, the Commonwealth, the institution. There's nothing wrong with it.
Who's doing the attacking?
Now,
hang on.
What we are told.
I don't disagree with you.
Yes.
I agree with the first part of
attacking?
that.
Okay.
Yes, I do want a strong monarchy. Yes, I do want to give it longevity. I'm a big monarchist. But the last part of that, the only attacking is coming from one side. There is no attacking from the royal family against these two.
Well,
it's only coming from Harry and Meghan the last 5 years against
one side.
Tax day has passed, but for millions of Americans, that's where the trouble begins. The IRS is now ramping up enforcement for those who missed the April deadline or still owe back taxes. Well, today's sponsor, Tax Network USA, still help.
Taxes.
If you're that Tax Network USA,
what is he talking about?
Today,
it's in decline. Said, or a source publicly come out.
What rubbish is she speaking now?
Let Tax Network USA make the next move, not the IRS. When is a senior member of the royal family attacking in public?
But you know that senior members never publicly come out and make comments.
So you agree
like
with
that.
me?
So, but what we are told is a source
said,
or a source close to the royal family said. My point is, look, the royal family are in trouble as an institution. We know that in terms of the support for the royal family, it's in decline.
Did you see them today?
It's in decline. And we know that.
I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. If anything, it's increasing and
I was about to say exactly the same thing. I would say it's increasing because of what Harry and Meghan have done.
Mm-hmm.
It's increased it.
Yeah, because they are losers, and they will stay losers, and their fan base is dwindling. Their popularity is in the toilet. I mean, everything is just it's bad. It's a bad deal for these two, and she can't keep making excuses for them, but she does. And the monarchy is not failing.
Stop.
because the polls tell us, and we know that particularly in relation to the youth, the younger generation. And if you
And why
are
do you
to-
think that is?
And if you are to stop, because of the relevance.
Could it
because
hang
of
on,
the relevance.
Could it be because they've been branded a bunch of callous racists by these two
Well,
who
you keep
absconded
saying
to...
that. That's
Well, they
another
did,
thing
they
I
did.
need to correct you on. They never said that their royal family were callous racists.
Oh, they
Those
did?
are your words.
No,
Those are your words.
Okay.
And Prince
Hang
Harry
on.
very clearly
Right.
said
No,
those were not
Which
the words that he used to
Yeah.
describe.
No,
the
he later
incident
blamed
that
the media.
He heard.
Let me just remind you what they told Oprah.
Stop being in denial. You know they call the royal family racist. Everybody knows that. That shouldn't even be a debate.
And they did it a number of times. They've just done it too many times for that woman to deny it. It's crazy.
Right. It's like,
They made a
come
whole
on.
Netflix series about it. Jeez.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Oprah Winfrey. She said that she was suicidal and that when she went to somebody senior at the palace to ask for help, she was told she couldn't get any.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe it at the time. It never appeared in Harry's book. She's never
Oh, just me and you guys then. The teacher's gone. Hey, Del. You're back.
Yeah, I messed up. I hit a button. Oh, you can't hear it.
Just getting to the good bit.
Yeah, this is good.
Support for the royal family, it's in decline.
Did you see the mall
And
today at Buckingham Palace?
It's in decline. And we know that because the polls tell us, and we know that particularly in relation to the youth, the younger generation. And if you
And why
are
do you
to-
think that is?
And if you are
I
to
am
stop because of the
too.
relevance.
Could it
because
hang
of the
on,
relevance.
Could it be
Sorry, just real quick. SCJ, I'm a little sad about it. About Joe Biden. Like when I switched over to watch Piers Morgan, my mind was still on Joe Biden. So,
Do you like Joe Biden?
yes. Yes, I think he's an honorable person for the most part. He didn't get rid of FEMA.
Sorry?
Our president got rid of FEMA.
Yeah.
That's not good. Like if we have a disaster, that's who we go to for
Yeah.
help. For help. I went to FEMA once. I had a flood in my house from that storm in Dallas, and when we had a storm in Dallas, dictator. It was bad. It was bad, like because we're not prepared for storms and freezing weather and stuff like that. So our electric was off, our gas was off. You know, people were freezing. And thank God I had just had Kira. Thank God I had a fireplace.
Yeah.
And it was broke. And then we got it fixed that week. How weird. And anyway, our governor, Ted Cruz, went to Cancun.
He was gone. He ran. I'm out of here. I'm going.
They went on vacation, him and his family.
If you can go. Jeez.
Right. He'll never live that down. Hello, Dell. Oh my God, I am having so much fun tonight.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I don't like that woman either. Yeah, FEMA. It's kind of scary. You kind of feel like, anyway, I had to call FEMA for help. And they were like, call your insurance company. Your insurance company is going to cover it. And so I did, and they covered it.
Yeah.
But
they
I
should.
still wanted them to cover the
But you needed help now. You wanted like food and things like that, don't you?
right.
Immediate assistance.
Yes, they're there to help with all kinds of yep. Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, so let's see. It's going to be the state's responsibility to make sure they take care of their people, but they better figure out what to do. Don't wait until disaster and your senator go to Cancun. Remember when what's his name went to Cancun and we were freezing and she out?
Ted Cruz. No.
Ted Cruz. Oh God, I was so...
Cancun Cruz.
Oh, that's what they call him.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Republican.
Yeah, it didn't really help as great as I thought it was going to help, because if it was like for those that didn't have insurance. But I'm like, I still got to pay the deductible. The deductible was $5,000.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Insurance is such a rip-off. You need it, but it's a rip-off at the same time.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And then I asked if they would pay half. They wouldn't pay half. They wouldn't do nothing.
No.
He did. He left his dog there. It was freezing. It was cold.
Because they've been branded a bunch of callous racists by these two
Well,
who have gone into...
saying that. That's
Well,
another thing I need.
We slept in the living room on the floor in front of the so we made like a pallet, like a little bed area for us, and we just stayed there for like days.
Oh.
Yeah, you couldn't go nowhere. If you looked like you wanted to leave, your car would get stuck or something. It was freezing. Yeah, it was a weird situation.
Right.
I need to correct you on. They never said that their royal family were callous racists.
Oh, they
Those
did?
are your words.
No,
Those are your words.
Okay.
And Prince
Hang
Harry
on.
very clearly said those were not the words that he used to
Yes.
describe.
No, he later blamed the media.
He heard.
Let me just remind you what they told Oprah Winfrey. She said that she was suicidal and that when she went to somebody senior at the palace to ask for help, she said she couldn't get any. I didn't believe it at the time. It never appeared in Harry's book. She's never repeated it. There has never been any shred of evidence to support that story whatsoever. One. Secondly, we now know from Omid Rabies, whatever his name is, that arse-licking little bird,
Rabies.
whatever they tell him to do, from a book that appeared in Holland, and I was the one that revealed this, that he reported that the two royals who Meghan Markle claimed had been racist about the skin color of her baby even before it was born. Well, hang on.
Harry
hang
had
on.
raised
hang on.
in conversation
They had raised
with Meghan
concerns
Sussex.
that she wanted us to believe and told the world via Oprah that they had raised concerns about the skin color of her unborn baby. In what world do you think it is likely that Catherine or Charles ever espoused a single racist undertone to any comment about the birth of their unborn child? And again, Paula, it never appeared in his book. He never repeated it again, and nor did she. And in fact, he then said later, oh, no. It was the media that said it was racist, not me, Gov.
So you agree with me?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you that he later tried to lie about it.
That the words callous racist are your words. Again, you agree with me. You agree with me on that.
When the royal family found themselves at the centre of that storm, regardless of who said what Harry and Meghan pointedly didn't do was come in and clarify the situation when they could have done. They enabled that row to continue, which caused a huge continental rift, which was the cover story of Vanity Fair. And the repercussions have been vast and wide. And I think part of the problem in all of this is that, as Harry said, actually, the king probably did have the power to intervene and sort all of this out if he had wanted to, because he is the king.
They don't trust him as far as they can throw them.
He doesn't trust his son.
How can you? Even when he came back for Prince Philip's funeral, he wrote in his book about the private conversations that he, William, and Charles had.
Hi. Hi, Del.
Lovely.
Hi, Dictator. Hi, Del.
How are you?
I just woke up. I was awake all night.
Oh.
You were on yesterday for 4 hours, and you're on again. I don't know what you're fine to talk about. What are we talking about today?
Is gone. FEMA is no longer here. He got rid of FEMA. FEMA is gone. They didn't put it anywhere. They didn't move those. They didn't move FEMA somewhere. If I'm not mistaken, you got, like, Kentucky had some storms the other day. That's his state. And they didn't have FEMA.
No.
They didn't. And some people really rely on it. Like you said, Dictator, we need clothes, food, shelter, something.
Did you have water everywhere?
I had a leak.
Oh, I had a leak, yeah.
Yeah, I had the pipes broke from the freeze.
Was that from the storm or the...
From the storm.
Right.
It was so cold.
Oh.
It was like freezing. And
it's getting very cold here.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, winter's coming here, and it's getting very cold. Suddenly, it's the end of autumn.
Oh, it
and
gets
it's
real
winter.
cold it don't get that cold here in the winter.
No, we don't get very cold. We don't get, we
we don't normally. So, yeah, it just be like a coat.
Yeah.
You rarely need gloves or a hat. Yeah.
Oh, I just find life very hard lately. I think I'm sad.
It's hot here now.
What, Del? What's up, Del?
Why are you sad?
Why are you sad? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I was watching stuff online last night. Everybody seems negative, and
yes.
And it's all so dark, and all this Diddy's going to get off. He's not going to get.
We watched a little bit of Diddy earlier. I
watched Paula. Did you watch Paula? She had the had that lawyer on, the lawyer that's usually on Sean Atwood.
No, did you, Dictator?
I saw it. Yeah, I need to watch it again because I couldn't quite concentrate because he has a tendency to be all over the place sometimes. Yeah, he does ramble.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So, but he did explain it quite well. But I do need to watch it again to listen to him again.
Yeah.
They were just saying how it's early days. They've only had one witness and everyone's writing it off. They had Cassie on first because she's pregnant. Let her say a bit and let her go. And everyone's writing the trial off already. It's only just started. Yeah.
Well, it better get better.
They don't seem to. I mean,
her had better do its job because right now they are losing. If I was a juror, I'd be like, losing.
Yeah. I want to go home. This is boring. You're not going to get him.
Yeah. Why are you wasting our time? Why are you talking about his sex life and his life with this woman that have already settled behind the scenes and fixed, and now we know it all.
And it's all horrible and sordid, and it's irrelevant because that is not what he's charged with.
But it is the trial of the new century. Everybody's watching it.
I don't know
I
why.
just
They
think
must.
on weekends, like, what else could we talk about? Everything was said at court,
Yeah. What do they try to distract us from?
unless we have opinions.
Maybe they're trying to distract us from Trump over in the Middle East, getting $400
Brand new
million plane and
Getting a brand new plane.
The plane. He has 4 planes. He has 2 Air Force Ones, and then he has his own plane.
yeah, he has a gold
So
Trump
where's this
plane.
money coming from?
It's an old plane anyway. It's not even
I
a
bet
good
that
plane.
plane is rigged up with microphones and secret cameras to record everything.
Absolutely.
Where's
Mm.
the money coming from for him to pay for this?
Oh, it's a gift.
Free. It's a gift.
A gift
gift.
from who?
The Saudis, the Saudis.
Saudis.
Oh, hell.
He said it was a gift he couldn't refuse.
Oh.
If I tried to give him a box of chocolates, he'd say, "Oh no, I can't accept gifts."
That's the same government that killed that one guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Khashoggi.
Yeah, killed him. He went in the building and never came out.
Sent him out in bits in a box.
I didn't think we were friends with them.
Oh, he's trying to solve the Middle East.
When they're going to give you a plane, you're friends with them.
Nothing's going to happen. Iran's going to hold out and wait for the presidency to end, and then they're just going to do what they want to do. He just thinks it's all going to happen.
Scary.
That's where the money is. That's where it's all going on. That's why we're all looking at Meghan and Harry and this silly Diddy trial. It's just the pablum of the masses.
I'm telling you, it is impossible not to talk about what's going on in America.
What have you got on your head? You got a little crown. Oh, it's a big Mickey Mouse bow.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse ears.
That's so cute.
I was copying Maggie.
You look like a doll.
Yeah.
Oh, Maggie was on.
Dale. Don't be sad, Dale. Come on our chat. Cheer up.
You are. You're cheering me up. You're cheering me up. Mickey Mouse bow is very cheery.
Megan's being called out again.
Hey, SEJ. Hey, say Snowdrop.
Penelope.
I can hear her squeaking. I know she's arrived. She's meowing everywhere.
Oh, there she is. I hear her.
FEMA was there for assistance to help.
I want a house where I can have a cat and a dog.
And now that we don't have it, it's a shame. What else is he going to remove?
Who? Trump.
Yeah, like what else is he going to take? That
everything from the poor people
was helping us, or otherwise they wouldn't have had FEMA. The government had FEMA for a reason, for disasters, to set up shelters, to help those that were in need.
Yeah. Did you ever smoke, Letitia?
No.
Ooh. Dictator?
What's that? Sorry?
Did you ever smoke? Smoke?
Do I smoke?
No, did you ever?
Oh yeah, when I was very young, yeah.
I tried when I was young, but it was hopeless. It just gave me a headache.
I too.
Yeah, I smoked for a couple of years and I gave up.
That wasn't long.
My friend that I was best friends with, she tried to smoke too, and she's still smoking.
Not have it. I just rather have FEMA than not have it. Honestly.
I'd rather have alcohol. I had a glass of red wine in the night.
I have alcohol now too.
I want some alcohol.
What the fags for alcohol?
Liquor.
Yeah. What do you drink, Dictator?
Wine, beer.
Yeah, me too. Wine, not beer. No beer.
I don't drink spirits or anything like that. Cocktails. I can't.
No.
Handle that. wine and beer.
Have you seen what Letitia drinks? She drinks a cocktail with like 3 big shots in it.
Yeah, I've seen those red drinks cocktails that you drink.
Letitia, you're a bad girl.
For me?
Yes.
We saw
You're
it.
big.
Those great big red drinks.
Yeah, they're big cocktails.
God knows what's on them.
My can?
No, the one when you go out to dinner and you have those big pink
Eric, you had
cocktails.
this big red drink and it had all decorations on it.
It has all kind of liquor in it. Just all kinds of liquor in it. It gave me a headache though. I wonder why.
Too many mixes.
Too many, too many, too many.
Yeah. Too many combinations. Yeah. No, I'd rather just have wine and then have a hangover and then wait for a while and then have
another one.
again. Yeah. Sometimes a glass, what do they call it? Hair of the dog makes you feel better when you're feeling horrible. I've given up caring. I used to be very, very careful about what I drank. Now I just don't care. I'm just depressed.
Oh, don't be depressed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's everyone going to? What are you going to do today, Letitia?
Nothing.
Nothing. You need a hobby.
We went out yesterday and did our normal little, what did we do? Friday we went to swim class. Saturday we went to tap and dance and gymnastics. Then we went out to eat. And then we went swimming. And today we were going to go swimming, but the weather is a little weird.
And Dictator, what are you going to do today?
My day's finished. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in bed.
Oh, of course. What did you do today? What did you do today?
It's Sunday, so I just did my cleaning and ironing, getting ready for the week. That's all. That's what I do on a Sunday. Boring.
Yeah. I watched. We watched a series. We're watching Mobland. It's really good. Helen Mirren. It's called Mobland. It's Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan. It's very, very violent. It's done by Guy Ritchie, Madonna's ex-husband.
Oh.
It's really violent, and it's set in England, and it's lovely, and they kill everybody all the time. It's great. A terrible show. And then we're watching that John Han thing with Friends and Family or something. It's Friends and Family. I don't know what it's called. With John Han, but I don't like that anymore because he's a bad guy and it's getting very boring.
Oh.
Anybody got any good recommendations for series? I'm looking for some new series to watch.
Oh, Keeping Up Appearances.
Keeping Up Appearances.
That's my favorite.
What, the British thing?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's very old. Mrs. Bouquet.
Yes.
Mrs. Bouquet. Mrs. Bucket.
Bouquet. Oh my God, that's so old. Yeah.
Hey.
She's great. My mother loved her.
I love that show. I used to watch it every night. I can still watch it every night. She is hilarious. She is, oh God, we should watch one in my Discord once. Guys, join the Discord. Because we're going to watch some movies and stuff. Have movie night. And then we could watch Keeping Up with Appearances. It's on it should be on Netflix. Netflix.
I like watch as time goes. Have you watched As Time Goes By?
No.
That's it. That's English. That's a lovely, lovely story.
Is it like Keeping Up Appearances? Good.
It's not a it's sort of comedy, but it's
the It Crowd is good too.
Oh yes. Have you tried turning it off and on?
Yeah.
He always- That's a great show. I love that show.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I love that woman. I love their
Friend's
boss.
face.
Their boss is such an idiot.
Friend's face. Friend's face.
It's a great show. The old shows are the best. Yeah. I like watching, what I really loved was Motherland. Where there's all these mothers, they've got their kids in private school and they're all all they do is drink all day and moan and upwardly mobile and crashing and burning. And it's just funny. They're all young and silly. It's called Motherland. They had 3 series and it was really funny. It was
Oh,
lovely.
we have to check it
They're
out.
basically nice people, but they were just a bit strung out. I liked it.
Oh,
Yeah. Have we lost Dictator?
looks like we lost Dictator, but that's okay. So, are you with us, Dale, for a few minutes?
Yeah, sure, I'll stay. I've got nothing to do. I'm depressed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can have a drink. Might not be a good idea. It's 9:00 in the morning.
Oh, I don't need a time.
At the funeral, while simultaneously suing every newspaper he could
Oh,
for
shut up,
invading
Pierce, you're
his
an
royal
idiot.
privacy.
So
I mean, the hypocrisy is
He's such a stirrer.
beyond anything I've ever seen.
What are you
good at it.
witnessing? You are witnessing a broken heart that is allowed to bleed openly. That is what we are
That's not
witnessing.
what I'm witnessing.
That is
Oh.
what you're
I'm
witnessing.
witnessing an
You are
entitled,
witnessing.
Shut
arrogant.
up. Hey, Letitia, have you seen The Nerve?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen the Nerve show? The show called The Nerve, where she just talks. It's Meghan Kelly's best friend.
Oh, yes, I've seen that. And
She's
she talks about
great.
Meghan.
Hey?
She talks about Meghan.
Oh, she talks about everything. She's got a lot of scandal and great stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like her. I'm
And
gonna
the
start
twins.
watching her
Did
stuff.
you watch Twin Talk? Twin Talk, the girls.
Sometimes, yes.
Well, they were great today. They were great this morning. They were showing all these examples about how Meghan is selling all her clothes.
Yes.
She's selling them on all these strange, Bepop
Yeah,
things.
on her Instagram page.
No, she's selling them on, recycle places under an assumed name, so
Oh,
that nobody knows they're her clothes. But everyone's picked up on it now, and it's the same dresses, the same shoes, the same blazers. Why would she go to that length? Hasn't she got any money? Is she poor or something? I thought she had lots of money.
they don't have it.
Everybody keeps saying she's
trying to
poor.
live
She's
like
poor.
the Joneses, and she's trying to live more than the Joneses. She's trying to live like Oprah.
Hey, who's that stupid that Tegan somebody? Chrissy Teigen. She's going to have Chrissy Teigen on her show this week. Or no, November. Oh, it's ages away. Like for the second part of As Ever.
Loves his White Lotus.
Do you know Chrissy Teigen?
Yes, I don't watch her though.
No, she's horrible.
Yeah, I don't follow her.
Well, they're going to so she's going to be on with the Meghan. That'll be fun because they're both bullies and they're both dumb.
On what show?
On As Ever, the cook where she cooks.
Oh,
or is it
episode 2?
Oh no, it might be her blog, her podcast. She might be going to be on her podcast. I've lost track of what she's going to be on, but I know she's going to be on the next one of her shows. She's got 2 shows now.
We'll keep an eye on that because that will be good.
Oh no, I think I remember it's going to be the cooking show because they've already recorded it.
It's out there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever that starts again, show because they've already recorded it. Sorry. Yeah. When's it coming on again?
Next year.
Is it next year?
Next season.
Oh dear, how boring! It's got to wait months for it. We'll never have any fun. Nothing much is happening. I don't think she'll have any more interviews after the last one with old Heidi, whatever her name was.
No, she'll keep doing
twisted little man
You are
who's had
witnessing
his claws dug
trauma.
into by
He
manipulative
is a
LA
manipulative
lady.
little man.
And the pair of them
Oh,
have
how
gone
can that woman bother defending Meghan?
enrich themselves by abusing the very institution which bestowed the titles to them,
Gave
which they
them
use to make money.
everything.
It is the worst example of double standard hypocrisy you could imagine. We bring in Kinsey, who's been waiting patiently. Kinsey, you're in LA. I was there recently. Like I say,
Oh,
I think Bill Maher said it last weekend that he just, the general view is just total apathy towards them now. Although I accept, as Maureen said, a lot of people really do hate them, but they're kind of viewed like a kind of like B sliding into C-list celebrities now. And my argument would be, okay, fine. If you want to exist as a C-list celebrity like everybody else in LA who's at that level, that's no problem. But you have to give up the titles. You can no longer be the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You can no longer call yourselves that, or HRH as she does on her ghastly little jams, whatever it is. You can't do any of that. In other words, you can't have your royal cake and eat it.
Oh, it's hard to take Prince Harry seriously when he's complaining about real security concerns on international television and watching the family inching closer to showing the children on social media, with the justification being that this is helping to build Meghan's commercial brand. You know, if you are really concerned about security, to your point, why are you going to Colombia? Why are you going to Nigeria, a war-torn Ukraine? You think he would be more considerate of Ukraine right after sitting in a courtroom arguing that he didn't feel safe. I do think that Americans feel like Prince Harry is sometimes an emotional con artist who fabricates and exaggerates hardships to exploit compassion. He constantly craves pity, often at the expense of the truth. This isn't the first time that he's told us his father won't talk to him. Meghan Markle told us on the Netflix series, Harry lost his father. Harry told Oprah Winfrey, my father's not taking my calls. It later was revealed.
You know, that really ticked me off when she was like, Harry's lost his father in this process. And his father was not lost, gone anywhere. His father is up there running the country. And who are you to say that he's lost anyone? Let him tell his own story. She too busy telling her story and his. And when they get ready to divorce, she's going to tell another story about Harry. One that's going to be despicable and nasty. Yeah, you know what? That's his fault.
Did you hear anything about Harry being in England at the moment?
God, no, she is not in England.
No, not him. Not for him. Someone said he's gone over to England for 3 days. Yeah, for 3 days he's going to be there. I don't know why. It's very quiet.
Yeah, I heard on the Sidley twins. Somebody said on the Sidley twins that he was here.
Yeah, that's the second place I've heard it. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
What are you doing there?
That's a good question. Nobody seems to know. Yeah, what?
Apparently, he's visiting the King and William. Apparently, I don't know if it's true, but that's what it was reported.
Oh, so
I
maybe
suspect,
you have to apologize for the BBC interview.
I hope so. You should.
There's another rumour going around under the radar that the King is a lot sicker than we know.
Yeah. Yeah,
He looked
that's true.
Scary.
Yeah.
William got this.
That apparently Harry may have been summoned. You've got to come over here because, you know, he's a lot worse than what we're led to believe.
Yeah. When I saw him walking in to that ceremony recently, he was leaning very, very heavily on a walking stick. That was a cane. He could barely walk and he was really limping. And then when he walked up to the podium, he was obviously, you know, pumped up with some drugs like they used to do with Biden. So he managed it. But I think he is a lot sicker than we are being told.
Did you hear about Joe Biden being sick too?
Biden's sick?
Yeah, he's got prostate cancer. and it's in
Has
his
it?
bones now.
Well, that's where that's what Charles has got too. Prostate
Yeah, he's
cancer.
got prostate cancer.
So it's metastasized to Biden's bones.
One of my uncles had it, and he recovered just fine. And
Yeah, well, my brother-in-law did.
he's in his elderly age, and he recovered like it was never there.
Yeah, a lot of men, older men die with it. Many men die with it. They don't. It doesn't metastasize. It's just careful. What my brother-in-law had it for. He's now in his 70s, and he was. He's not my brother-in-law. He's my cousin, late cousin, and he had it when he was 20. Got diagnosed when he was 25, and they said we're just careful, watch, and waiting. And so it's all he's doing, and he's lived on 40 years. Yeah, so you can, yeah, but it all depends on the treatment. I don't know what sort of treatment Biden got.
Yeah, I don't know.
Poor old
Yeah,
bugger.
age and everything as well. Their
I'll
ages
tell
as
you
well.
what, painful dying of it in your bones, that's for sure.
Oh wow!
They
Yeah.
usually can't get the pain under control at the end. They just put you in a
Really?
morphine coma, and then they give you a little help to carry you off.
Oh wow!
He won't last. Is he in hospital?
I don't know. Judith came to notice. Is Judith still here?
Nope.
Tell the news. No, she's not. I'm not sure.
Revealed, alleged by sources that King Prince Charles at the time told Queen Elizabeth, "I'm not an ATM," because those calls were about money. So Harry and Meghan, they have an issue when it comes to their memory and when it comes to the truth.
And you know what, Maureen, is very interesting to me is that you don't see them with A-list stars anymore. And I think the reason for that is they've become very toxic. And also A-list stars, they
Except for Gwyneth Paltrow,
well,
quite recently.
A-list. So
Gwyneth, I don't know if you've got a response.
Well, that's a slap.
There's one or two maybe in the last 2 years. But the point being,
She's an
Maureen,
Academy
that
Award
they had a lot of
winning.
them around them to start with, Oprah and all the rest of them. But they've become so toxic. Most big stars now, they want the real royals rocking up at their events. They want them at their rock concerts. They want them at their movie premieres. They want William and Kate. They don't want the ones that everybody hates. So they're losing that cachet very fast. And it seems to me that Hollywood is abandoning them fast.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they hit the ground running with alienating the A-list in Hollywood when right after Megxit, they went to that Disney premiere, recall, and Harry rocked up to Bob Iger, head of Disney, and said, "Hey, my wife over here who's just chatting casually with Jay-Z and Beyonce, never forget the Beyonce message, the text in the Netflix special, you were sent here to heal generational trauma." You know, she's available for voiceover work. You could see everybody recoil. Like, what is this? Nobody will go near them. To your point, I think more people are keeping their mouths shut about Sean Diddy Combs, whose trial started today for his sex crimes alleged, than want to be seen with these two. I think Gwyneth did a very savvy thing by doing a wordless, like 5-second clip on Instagram and then dispatching with Meghan Markle very quickly. And one other thing about this disgusting interview that Harry just gave to the BBC, which was supposed to be only 10 minutes in length, went 30, sounded more like a therapy session than any sort of actual news giving, whatever event. It's me, I. His father, Prince Charles, is battling cancer. He intimates publicly, I don't know how long. He actually said, "I don't know how long my father has left." Disgusting. He and Meghan are repeating history. They are doing to King Charles what they did to Prince Philip on his deathbed with that Oprah interview. They are doing what they did to the Queen in the run-up to her death, and then Harry's missives to the media. "Oh, William and Aunt, they left without me. I wasn't on the plane. I got the call too late.
Yeah.
Me. I." They're doing it to the king, and I promise you, Piers, and I'm sure you see this coming. Once there is a King William, that door is well and truly shut, and the title's gone.
Yeah, I think it might be heading that way fast now. I mean, Katie, it just strikes me that these two, they've tried pretty much everything. but the royal door has slammed. Studies show that strength training burns more fat than cardio alone and is critical for maintaining muscle mass and bone density.
It's merching.
I forgot. Oh, days.
Why is everybody merching these days? They merch and then they have
Sponsors.
commercials as well.
I know a couple of people in the royal family who just say that I don't think almost anyone in the family is now talking to them.
No.
Possibly Eugenie
Well,
still has a connection.
That's tenuous after your last meeting with
Well,
me,
that
which
she
he
was-
didn't like very much.
Yeah,
did
I
he?
don't think you'll find both those sisters
No.
have the same situation with them. So I think that it's I just feel like the drawbridge is up. There's no, I just don't see how Charles doesn't trust them for a reason. They've
Yeah.
abused that trust so many times.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been the ultimate betrayal. First with Oprah, then the Netflix docuseries, and the many interviews, and of course Spare, which was just so damaging. And I think, for the king, I know sources very close to the king who say he desperately wants to see. I mean, can we just also see the human story in all this? Two little grandchildren who don't see their grandfather, a king who
Whose
has
fault is
cancer,
that?
who is doing well, and please God is going to live a long life and do well because he's.
Whose fault is that he hasn't seen those two kids? It's Meghan's fault. She's coming up with them cockamamie stories
Exactly.
about security and how dangerous it is in England, but you can't put them on a screen and show. I wouldn't
Put
even
more
care.
FaceTime. Yeah,
If we're
exactly.
not talking, it doesn't matter. But it does affect the kids. It does affect the kids. Harry talking about his kids are overwhelmed by stuff. They're too young to be overwhelmed by things unless you're putting it on them.
Well,
And
my
it shouldn't
theory
be
on that.
because they don't exist.
Yeah, they don't exist, though. That wasn't even her on a
Can't
Mother's
believe
Day
it.
photograph.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's
The bum was
ridiculous.
too
I don't know
big.
what that. Yeah,
I do
kids are
believe
big and
he's
small.
printing kids. I do. I don't believe that those. Is she up?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and get her up.
Why?
Well, I mean, that's
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna get her up.
Sorry, guys. It's a shame.
He's doing the job brilliantly, but we don't know. And in all of this, a fracture in a family that we look to be a united royal family.
I think he actually.
And it's not. And it's not.
Yeah, but I think it's more that Charles has been so preoccupied with his health, which has clearly been a very serious situation. And I think
as has Catherine, the Princess of Wales, as has they've
of
all
course,
had more
but I
important
think they're
things
just
to worry
too
about.
tired to think about these two. I mean, Paula, look, I'm trying to. All right, let's try and get to the humanity here, right? I'm trying to think. I've got 3 sons. If one of them did this, as a father, obviously, when we've seen it actually with David Beckham, right now with Brooklyn Beckham, who snubbed all his 50th birthday, which I never thought would happen with that. He all seemed a very tight family.
Yeah.
And what did Brooklyn do? No offense to our American ladies down the line, but it seems to me every time one of these Brits gets involved with an American woman, all hell breaks loose in their family.
Wow.
I'm just casting aspersions across the pond because you're not here to defend yourselves physically with me in the room. But I told my son, stay away from the Yank women. It's a joke. But Paula, on the human
They're
side
not
of this,
amused.
let's try and get to the humanity. All right, so they've all fallen out. They've had a massive thing. You've got Harry behaving
not
like an idiot,
joking.
whatever. This picture, though, that she posted was so calculated.
Yes,
After Harry says, well, you can't have any rapprochement until the security issue gets done. There's a picture of Harry walking away with his kids, one on his shoulder, one holding his hand from behind, using the kids again for promotional reasons whilst protesting. They want privacy for their children, putting them in the public domain,
Look at that.
but walking away. It's very deliberate, very calculated.
It's not
It's
even
like
a real
we're
photo,
walking
for God's sake.
these
It's
people.
not.
You know, Charles, you might be suffering from cancer, but if you don't give me what I want, you're never seeing your grandkids. That's what that was about.
Yep.
Well, let's flip
Charles
that. Let's
doesn't
flip
care.
your
Flip it
very
to
negative
what?
view and try and look at a
It's not
positive
just me.
and try. Oh, I appreciate that.
Do you
I
meet
mean,
anyone that agrees with you these days?
I appreciate that, because the job that has been done in terms of helping this tragedy to widen to the extent that it has been fantastic. It has been so impressive.
By who?
And to answer
By who? By
Maureen,
who?
I don't know.
Well, who?
I don't know.
You
There
don't
are
know.
lots,
Meghan
of, there are lots of people who
Could it be the
will
two
give
people who've
guesses.
been on Oprah, Netflix, podcasts, BBC interviews? Could it be those two who are the only ones in this whole saga doing any talking?
It would be so easy, wouldn't it, just to blame one person? But we're talking
two
about
people.
we're talking about a family, and we're talking about a family tragedy.
He
And
is eating
Piers, you and I,
her
we
up.
always have this
No,
back
we're
and
not.
forwards about everyone's truth, but we're dealing with a family, and you know that in a
Well, there's
family,
only one truth.
and you know in a family situation, the dynamics are seen from every single angle. Okay, so that's looking at it humanely. The other thing that we need to consider is, as Katie quite properly said, we've got a grandfather here who's not been able to see his grandchildren.
fault is
We have
that?
thousands of
Actually,
grandparents.
two.
Grandparents.
Because you have her father
Yes.
has never even met Harry.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is incredible. She's managed to, Meghan Markle, who'd already split.
Meghan Sussex. Yes.
No, she's not.
There
She's
are
Meghan Markle to me. Sorry. I come
thousands
from. Wait a
of
minute.
grandparents.
I come from Sussex. I've spent more time in Sussex this week, just gone, than she ever has.
It was a title that was given to.
I'm
the
not
Queen
giving
gave
them the
those
titles anymore. I'm not.
Well,
I've already-
it's not in your power to take those titles away.
It's in my power to call them what the hell I want. It's my truth. And my truth is they're not the Duke and Duchess of Sussex anymore.
Well, I'm
That's my
afraid they
truth.
are.
And I know you would. I know you would respect my right to have my truth.
I
and my
appreciate
set of
that,
facts.
but we know that you're wrong about that, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But you know, thousands of grandparents make applications to the family courts every year in an attempt to see their children. And what I understand from international,
And you know this area very well.
I know that very, very well. And what I understand from international reports, and Katie, you might correct me on this one, but what I've read actually is that the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Sussex are attempting to reconcile. Brothers are attempting to reconcile.
Absolutely
Harry.
untrue.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
That's rubbish.
No, they are not. She's just making up stuff. Just making it up.
That woman's an idiot.
Who came up with that stupid idea? Just dumb diddy dumb. She's getting beat up on this panel. Ain't nothing she can't defend it. It's the defendless. You can't defend something like this. They'll get you every time. Everyone on that panel has chewed you up and spit you out, girl. Please like the video. And also hit the like button. Don't forget about the super chats and super stickers to bless the channel. And thank you. What were you saying, Dale? Huh? Yeah, she done got chewed out and spit out.
See what other nonsense she's got to say.
I really hope that what
I'm
I've
told
read.
Prince William would literally rather shoot himself.
I
Honestly,
hope
I'm
that
told
what
this
I've read is
utterly-
true because it's important.
No,
you are seeing a decline in the status of the monarchy.
Because
is stronger. Together is stronger.
Do you accept that what Harry and Meghan have done for the last 5 years is
stronger? They are weaker with them too. It makes
They are.
Yeah.
And
The public won't have them back. There's no way.
no, they don't want that. They don't want that. They see who she is. They have figured out that she is a loony bin and out for herself. Selfish. I'm a selfish person.
She's horrible.
Judith.
What's she going to do next? Hey, did you see her arranging more flowers because Charlotte's got a what is it?
That's all she's doing is from arranging flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
for
just
what?
arranged horrible brown ones for Catherine, and now Charlotte's got a chrysanthemum named after her. And so now she's arranging pink roses.
And now that's
She's
her
so,
friend.
oh, she's
Those
so
are her
obvious.
friends because Meghan won't let her see other people. Why she ain't hanging around with Serena kids? Girls.
Is she?
No. Serena's over there by herself, hanging out.
You never see her hanging out with anybody.
Judith.
I don't even think that was Harry at the concert.
hospital.
Certainly didn't look like him. You think that was Harry at the concert? I don't think so.
Oh,
One of the pictures, it didn't look like him, but then the other pictures did, so I don't know.
Yeah, that confused me too. Maybe it was just a bad photograph distortion. She certainly doesn't like him anymore.
I don't think she ever liked him.
I don't think she ever liked him, though. I don't think so either.
Yeah, I know.
Damage the monarchy.
I accept that this situation has been handled so badly. And it is really disturbing to see that the men in grey suits that Princess Diana referenced have failed to learn from the very obvious lessons that they got wrong with Princess Diana.
There's no
and
comparison.
Have allowed,
There is no comparison.
Well, Prince Harry makes a comparison and has allowed this to get to the absolutely diabolical state that it's in at the moment.
Yeah,
what's she talking about?
Gobsmacked that people didn't
What
step
is she
in early.
talking about?
What the hell
Hello.
is she talking about? I'm with you, dictator. What the hell are you talking about? These two put themselves in this diabolical situation.
The palace didn't do it.
Yeah.
No, it's got nothing to do with the men in grey suits of the palace. Jesus.
Yeah, what grey suits? What is you talking about? Meghan has destroyed this relationship and will continue to destroy it. And you keep making excuses for these two, and your excuses aren't making sense. You sound like a bubbling idiot.
Is a bubbly idiot.
She is. She's got no argument at all. She hasn't actually presented any argument at all.
No, whatsoever.
Piers has her on a lot.
Yeah, because she's the only one that's going to take up for him. So he needs to, have I think, have a other side to it. So he won't be biased. But my God, get someone smart enough to do this.
Yeah.
To make it sound like she's not good at it.
You can't get anybody clever to defend those two. No one.
That's true. That's true.
That is so true. And people start talking to me about them too, and I immediately go to you don't want to even go there with me. I will break it all the way down and then some, and then you'll be like, what?
Oh, they've tried. They've all tried. Trust me, they've all tried.
How do we know that?
I am very reliably told.
From a source.
My sources,
no doubt, close to the royal family.
I won't say who my sources are, but I'm very reliably informed.
And a reconciliation is some way off. I
Oh
think
my
it's
God, it's
very
non-existent.
important to just make that point.
Sorry,
it's
non-existent.
Not
It's
on the cards.
non-existent. Harry wants to, honestly, he'd rather shoot himself. Let me bring in Kinsey again. What happens here, Kinsey? What's the end game for all this?
I think the end game is that Harry and Meghan continue to monetize and continue to utilize their proximity to the British royal family as much as they can. I mean, Perhaps this was just Prince Harry reminding us that he's the son of the king, because that's the only currency they have here in the States. That's the only thing that makes them relevant. Meghan's podcast has fallen off the charts. She's been criticized for the content. There are rumors that her As Ever launch wasn't as successful as she considered it. Critically, With Love Meghan was not a success. So I think that every once in a while, they just have to remind us that they are attached in some way, shape, or form and stir the pot.
Well, let's take a look at some of this podcast, because honestly, just when I thought it couldn't get any more ridiculous,
Oh, no.
there's a clip where she emails her young kids every night, even though they're there. Let's take a look.
And so I'd created for the kids
We have to listen to her voice. I can't stand it. I'm going to be sick.
names again that you would never guess that I will give them at some point in their lives when they're older. But before I go to bed,
They're in the
almost
next
every
room
night,
and I can't talk to
I
them.
email them.
Wow.
I email because it doesn't have to be a heavy lift, and you email them like, here's your report card from today, or oh my gosh, you said the funniest thing this morning, or here's a picture of you two having breakfast, or here's you playing with the dog. The things that you're not going to frame, the things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal, but they will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
Because that's really what you want when you're 18. 40,000 emails, Maureen, from your mother about every time you burped in public. You know what's really interesting about that clip? That's not actually her podcast. It's her appearing for the first time on another podcast, barefoot, no makeup, the usual weird, manipulative kind of thing. You're trying to send some message about it. I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake, right? She was a real hard-nosed LA girl, right? Who was on the fast track. Yeah. Now she's like this, oh, I'm soft, I'm mummy, I'm this. It's all bullshit. If you're struggling with sleepless nights and exhausting days, you might want to try Beam's Dream Powder. Beam is proudly founded in a
saint. I'm guessing when you knew her, our impression of her was she was a striver on the hustle and she was on the prowl.
Actually, perfectly likable. This is the weird thing. I said it at the time. Perfectly likable and for a limited time. So go to shopbeam.com/peers, PIERS, and use promo code and your country too.
Now she's this beatified saint. I'm guessing when you knew her, our impression of her was she was a striver on the hustle and she was on the prowl.
Actually, perfectly likable. This is the weird thing. I said it at the time. Perfectly likable and perfectly, but no, there's no doubt the way she then ruthlessly cut everybody out of her life the moment she met him showed a very different side. That then you heard all the stories about the first marriage and what was going on there and how she cut everybody out. Then you realize she cut all her family out. And then Oprah and George Clooney are sitting where her dad should have been at the wedding and so on. And the whole thing unraveled very quickly. And interestingly, Maureen, I'll just play this clip to get your comment on this too. This is where she talks about what happened when she came into the royal family. Let's take a listen.
I mean, you have to imagine at the beginning, everyone is like butterflies. And then we immediately went into the trenches.
Why?
How do you stop having butterflies? You just met him. I said this yesterday, but I just wanted to remind us that butterflies should still be going down. Butterflies. And then you're thrown into the trenches. You weren't thrown nowhere.
You didn't go into the trenches.
You were given a place
the
to
trenches.
stay.
Jesus wept. The trenches.
Talking about
Going after the royal family. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
Look how she's looking. We were thrown in the trenches,
Together. Yeah.
You were very adored. You were adored.
So now 7 years later, when you have a little bit of breathing space,
what are you talking
you can just
about?
enjoy each other in a new way. And that's why I feel like it's more of a honeymoon
7 years
period.
later, you get some breathing space. You've had plenty of time to have breathing space. You've been on the plane 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You hopped on the Freedom flight and said you was leaving. Now you can breathe 7 years later. No, you're talking about how successful you think you have become. And you're not successful, Missy. You're a fake-a-do.
Fake-a-do.
You're a fake-a-do.
Fake-a-do. Fake-a-do.
Fake-a-do. Look at her. She looks like a fake-a-do. You just want to be this, wonderful person for kids. And annoying.
Now. Yeah. Do you think you'll be married forever?
Yes.
I have a letter.
He's also a fox. If you haven't noticed, my husband's very
What does he have to do with you living with them
his
forever?
heart is even more beautiful.
Oh my
You
God.
need glasses.
What's fascinating, Maureen, is
to
that
give him a
despite
bucket.
all this idyllic world they now live in, he looks permanently, unbelievably miserable. So one of them isn't telling us the truth.
No. And Piers, if I may slice and dice for a quick second. Okay, we're not wearing makeup. We are wearing makeup. You can see the blush. You can see the foundation. We're not applying our bronzer with a trowel. Number one. Number two, emails to the children. She tells us what wasn't shown in that clip. She finishes that thought by saying, these emails are so that when my children are of age, they can come to me and say, oh my God, you loved us so much. It's me. She was in the trenches. Harry, excuse me, she wangled her way onto the cover of Vanity Fair. Graydon Carter, EIC at the time, said when he was approached, he said, who the F is this woman? Oh, she's going to get engaged to Prince Harry. Well, let's give her the cover. Okay, who arranged that? They got a $40 million wedding, cheered by the British taxpayers who footed that bill. She's going to stay married to him forever, says the woman who was reportedly shopping a post-divorce memoir within the past 6 months and who we saw on video in New York City 2 weeks ago, entering a Time 100 summit where she had zero business speaking, swat his hand away as he went to take it. So yes, this is the love story of all time, Piers, of course.
Katie, it is hard not to be so cynical. It is. I'm with Maureen on this. Everything they do seems so manipulative, calculated, PR motivated, money motivated, and the antithesis of what it means to actually be a dutiful working royal.
Well, you used that word splintered earlier, Piers, and I think that's the point. You've got this sort of rival court in Montecito, and I think we almost have to stop. Maybe it is a case of, the whole question over their title, that almost stop treating them as a royal couple, because they're not. They are a celebrity couple.
Shouldn't Charles just take the title?
They're celebrities.
I saw Ian Wilson write that at the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I thought significant that he finally did that, because he
Well, I think the fact that she's using that HRH title, even privately, is problematic for the palace. I think that's something they will be watching very, very closely, because it was the express wish of the late Queen.
Yes.
She wasn't going to strip them of it, but they weren't to use them. And of course, even in a private capacity, it's like, well, it's out there now. So should we just put it on the Netflix contract?
Yeah, and what we haven't seen, Paula, is any more details of the phenomenal sales of the As Ever range. Because I suspect what happened was they had about 3 pots of jam that sold out because they bought them all.
Strawberry sauce.
And ever since, there hasn't been actually any update on the extraordinary sales. And I suspect it's just tanking like everything else they do.
Yep.
Why would you buy Meghan Markle jam?
Sauce. And that makes...
Sauce.
I believe it too. It's like, where's the jam? Where's production? Where's the new jamathon? When you gonna make some more? Hello, Sue Clark. Hello,
Where's your factory?
Yeah. When are you gonna get off your butt and make some more jamathon? Spreadathon. Yeah, it's supposed to be out there.
She's only got that one little pot in her kitchen.
It's only got one saucepan. She's got one saucepan. It's going to take her a while.
Just a mess.
It's their anniversary. It's an anniversary. What, tomorrow? Today? I bet we're going to get some horrible picture.
No.
I don't want a picture. No, there'll be a crash and there'll be some bad thing happen. So that they can say, look, we really need security.
Yeah. Catastrophic. Another catastrophic car chase.
One of the invisible kids will be run over.
She's going to come up with now.
Makes you happy. I mean, you actually sit there
It does
and
actually,
you
yeah.
look gleeful.
It does, yeah.
And that is.
It does. You know why?
And that's really
I am
shame.
No, because I don't.
Because
I
we were
don't
talking
want
about
them,
humanity.
No, I don't want
we
them.
were talking about humanity.
I don't want them making money out of being royals.
You don't want
while
them
they're
making
simultaneously trashing the royals
you want
and damaging
to see
the monkey.
That woman in the gutter.
No, actually, I don't really care about her so much. I don't care about her so much. Look, she's gone back to California. She's got what she wanted. She took her prince and she's milking him dry. I don't care. Listen, it's not that surprising. Wallace Simpson did.
Whoa, she got what she wants. She took her prince and she's milking him dry.
Yeah.
She's taking all his money and
that's why we call him a cash cow.
Cash cow.
So she can milk him dry.
Once it's gone, he'll be out the door.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's done. It's done. Ain't no more milk.
Bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, she got what she wanted.
Did it to Edward, right? It's fine. And Brooklyn Beckham's wife's doing it to him now from the Beckhams. It's fine.
All these terrible women. All these American
Well, I did point out
women.
Yeah.
We are still talking
we had
about
two fine examples of magnificent American women staring down the barrel of the camera. So I exclude. This is not a general view, but that's 3 out of 3.
Because
but let me ask you, Paula. Look, we can talk around the houses about all this. You go to such painstaking efforts to try and find an excuse for this stuff.
You do.
Surely, in your quiet moments when you're on your own and you're watching and reading this crap, you're just like, why don't the pair of you shut up?
It's crap.
Just shut up.
Do you know what? It's not about an excuse. It's about objectivity. And I think that's really important because I don't know the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I don't know the Prince and Princess of Wales. But what I can see with my own eyes is an inordinate amount of negative press about them. They cannot breathe. Everything is negative, and that should worry everybody in terms of freedom of speech. In terms of
doesn't worry me. What worries me is that they don't listen to the criticisms and listen to their critics. And we're not the only one criticizing them. There's also other people writing articles about these two.
What's it got to do with freedom of speech? What's it got to do with freedom of speech? She's got no argument.
Right.
She has to
She's the one who started it.
Take it to somewhere else.
A mess. What'd you say, Dale?
I think she's got no argument.
No, she doesn't. And that's what he said. I know you be sitting alone thinking to yourself, them idiots. And then you get on the panel trying to defend.
I think what I said was, why doesn't she bring up something good that they've done?
Right, exactly.
You mean turning up at a fire site and giving out oranges?
Right.
Anybody can do that. I could do that. Give me some oranges.
In fact, gave a man a donut, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
He found a donut for a man. Well
he
done.
should get an award for that.
Well, he's got loads of awards. Jeez.
Yeah. He needs
aviation, Legends of Aviation. Pat Tillman, he's got loads of awards. He didn't earn any of them, but he's got them.
Yes, but all his badges have been taken away.
In terms of uncensored, being uncensored, there must be a level of objectivity in terms of responding to what is an absolute
Who is censoring them, Paula?
Tsunami
Paula, I think you've
of negative
Paula,
information.
I say this with great respect. I think you've lost your marbles. What's it got to do
just
with...
today, Piers, just today.
Tsunami of negative press. What do you guys
It's called the
think about
truth.
that?
It's the
called
truth.
The truth. It's called the truth.
She's lost her marbles.
The truth.
You got any other tape?
Kinsey, it's about
Should
freedom.
they not be free
Well,
to
Kinsey,
say what they want to say?
Yeah, because the one thing they've not been, the one thing they've not been is free to say what they really think.
And when they do, and
Paula!
when they do, they are
Paula!
absolutely pounced on, and they have the response that
Paula,
they're not allowed to speak, they're not allowed to work,
They speak all the time.
they're not allowed to travel, they're not allowed to do anything charitable.
No,
They
it's
are
not
not
like-
allowed
I think the point
to do
you're making is that they
anything.
They never stop speaking.
for doing right and vice versa.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, Casey.
They have made such damaging accusations towards the royal family. I think it's about holding them accountable. I think that people are simply fact checking or saying, well, you're saying this today, but 2 years ago you said the complete opposite.
Exactly.
I think it's important that we hold people
Exactly.
accountable that are
Kinsey.
making such extreme accusations about the British royal family, because at the end of the day, it is detrimental to their brand. And if it's not true, how incredibly cruel.
I accept that fact checking is utterly appropriate and important.
You
I
don't know,
accept-
because you
I-
believe in
I
multiple
accept that.
truths.
I accept that. I don't.
You think everyone
believe-
can have their own truth?
It's
That's
not.
not
It's not my
fact-checking.
job to believe anyone's truth. It's only my job.
People
it's
don't have
only-
their own
it's
truths.
only my job to
How can
observe.
you talk about fact-checking
It's only
and then
my
say everyone's got their own
it's
truth?
only my job to observe objective facts, and so I absolutely
Paula,
agree with you.
do you believe in the
It is
truth?
about fact checking, but I very rarely see, in terms of responses, in terms of opinions, in terms of reporting, objective fact checking. I
Right.
very rarely see.
Paula,
that.
can I ask you something about the latest Vanity
Oh,
Fair
rubbish.
story? Because that,
Which I haven't seen.
Rubbish.
well, that was the final nail in the coffin. And Kinsey, I think you will agree with me on this. That was the sort of the last bastion, the last champion that Harry and Meghan had in Vanity Fair. And when they turned on them, that was objective. There was no agenda from the editor of Vanity
Right.
Fair to portray Meghan in the negative light and Harry that they came out in. That deep dive into Montecito, Netflix, and everything else
Right.
came out with a very unflattering perspective of both of them.
I'm
So
sorry.
then-
Also, Paula, with great respect, if someone talks like a dickhead and walks like a dickhead and acts like a dickhead, he's a dickhead. And it's not my truth
mean, you said
or
it
his
is.
truth
You
or
said it
anybody
is.
else's truth, and it requires no fact checking. He is a monumental dickhead. And that's what we're now seeing unraveling before our eyes. And he can't stop talking. The idea that their free speech is being infringed in some way, they never stop talking. This is the problem.
Okay, Piers, let's say you're right. Let's say
I
that
am
we
right.
can't. Let's say that we can't stop them talking. How dangerous is that for the monarchy?
Very.
Is my point.
Very.
I mean, that is fundamentally
Very.
my point.
There was a
If you
survey.
are
There was a
right-
survey in the Caribbean, a lot of the Commonwealth countries, but particularly
Yes.
Caribbean,
Yes.
which showed a marked drop in the popularity of the royal family
and
because
across
of,
the Commonwealth.
because of the racism allegations.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
And they, by the way, now apparently we're supposed to believe they never made them. Yeah. So you let the fire off. You're the arsonist, and then you run away and pretend it was actually the media that set the fire off. Bullshit.
And so my point is, do I think that this approach, this attack is going to work outright?
By who?
We know that anger never resolves a problem.
All right.
We know that. So what are we going to do in terms of those people who support the royal family?
I know the answer. You take all their titles away and you say you can swing for it and you can be...
And Prince Andrew, what do we do with his title?
Well, he doesn't do anything, Andrew, does he? He doesn't do anything. He has nothing.
He went to Easter
I'm told-
Easter worship.
Andrew literally sits in his house most of the time and he goes out and rides. That's it, right? What he doesn't do is give endless interviews attacking the royal family or the monarchy. He has his own crosses to bear, quite rightly, and that's what it is. But he is effectively estranged from any public life whatsoever. These two never stop going on global media to trash the royal family and the monarchy. And each time they do it, they chip away at the mystique and the magic and the popularity. And that's why I despise them for what they're doing. And the king should step in
That's not
and he
them.
should say, enough.
Piers.
The titles are all being taken away. You can now live the life you wanted, which is out on your own, free of royal
In terms of tourist attractions, Windsor Castle is 23rd in the list. Buckingham Palace is 58th in the list. Are we going to blame Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex for that?
Yes.
No.
What's that going to do?
But the reality
All right, we've
is,
got to leave it there.
that's the reality.
Got to leave it there. Thank you to my guests here. Thank you to my. Any last thoughts, Maureen?
He said, "Look, I'm done with you." Yes, we can blame them too, because it wasn't like that before when she was hollering racism, racism, racism.
Yeah, the First Amendment that Harry, when he alighted in the United States to live, said it made no sense to him that Americans have a First Amendment right to free speech, which he then has cloaked himself in to level any number of baseless accusations of racism as any primary member of his family lay dying. Okay? King of hypocrisy.
Thank you very much. Kinsey, Maureen, Katie, lovely to see you. Paula, always lovely to see you, defending the indefensible with such eloquence. Thank you all very much. Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent.
That was good, right, guys? What time is it?
It was good. Yeah, I'm going to leave you guys because I'm going to go and get some sleep.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It was wonderful.
Bye-bye. Get some good sleep. You're lucky,
Bye.
girl.
I'm going to get some sleep. See you guys later. Lovely to chat to you. Lovely speaking to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, DeLovely. Hello, Sue Clark. How are you guys doing? SCJ, can you put it on regular speed? I think it's a little slow. H&M are Duke and Duchess of Destruction. It's what they like to do, Sue Clark. DeLovely, she's taking pictures of them eating breakfast. Yes, that was weird.
There's pictures of them eating breakfast?
Yeah, she said she's going to be taking pictures of the kids eating breakfast. And then when they get older, she's going to show them.
He won't do that. She'll just
Kara's
say
looking
it.
at her pictures already on the TV.
Is there? On her Instagram page. I thought she was too busy walking around in big baggy pants.
Right. Like a balloon.
Picking up roses. Why does she do that? She looks so silly.
All I can say is
humanitarian stuff. What happened to all of that?
What happened to who?
Her humanitarian activity and her charities. What has happened to all that? Where's all that gone?
I know. They don't have it anymore.
No. Too busy crucifying the back of people.
Is this
They can't talk
connection
about
to
their
P.
charity.
Diddy, which obviously
Now,
this guy's fully emasculated, and that's her showing us the way she's got control of him and how much he adores her.
I think we've done enough unless y'all want to see Vanessa. What do y'all want to see? Y'all want to see this with P. Dinah or Vanessa?
I don't know. Do P. Dinah. I'm sick of Vanessa. Yeah. P. Dinah's better. She's more fun.
Her.
She was on this morning.
breaking right now, a disastrous week for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who have seen their popularity ratings plummet to shock new lows. And the question is why? And a lot of it appears to be connected to the emasculation of Prince Harry. The fact that he has so
Here she is, the
willingly
lovely.
given in to Meghan's whims, taking away any sense of power he had as the member of the royal family, as arguably the man in the relationship who should have been calling the shots every now and then. So we're going to get analysis on this from royal YouTube sensation P. Diner in just one moment. But first, I want to look at what the Daily Mail columnist Maureen Callahan had to say about this. Firstly, let's start with Meghan and the fact that she believes Meghan's popularity is plummeting because she's actually just really uncool. Watch.
What she purports to be and so badly wants to be. She thinks she's like the cool royal, the American easy breezy California cool royal with a wellness brand or a food brand like Gwyneth. Like, she's not cool. Okay. There's zero about that hat and everything else about in that Instagram post that is cool. And, you know, I'm not saying cool is the cost of entry for everything. It's certainly not, but authenticity sure as fuck is. And you know what runs on a dual track with authenticity? Often you're cool, okay? Because you don't really give a shit. And her problem is she gives way too much of a shit.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Too much.
And what's so funny about that is that she claims that she looks at nothing. But of course, we know she looks at everything and then dictates her moves, her very 2012 sort of Pinterest era moves, based on whatever has been said. Now, that's Meghan. But Maureen Callahan with Harry says it comes down to this concept of emasculation.
After she has torn herself away from her two children for a moment of respite, and she goes into an adjoining room where she now misses them so much, she has to start scrolling through her phone to look at photos of them, even though they're in the next room. And Harry walks in and he says, "My love, can't you just give yourself a break?" So, you know, and okay, what this hat shows is not only, I think Harry's balls, I think she like weighted them down with like some concrete per The Sopranos and like threw them in a body of water and they're gone. That's it. This guy's fully emasculated. And that's her showing us the way she's got control of him and how much he adores her.
So P. Diner, has Meghan Markle emasculated Prince Harry and is
hell
she
yeah.
coercively controlling him?
Yes.
Yeah, this woman is taking over and has taken over. And I think what we have to remember, Dan, is before Meghan was known to us all, she was doing this already. She was the one plotting and trying to get herself in the papers and, you know, doing things to get her celebrity profile up. And all she has done now by this marriage is has power essentially from Harry's brand and his connection to his family, and now she's wielding it in a way that is with so much more it's heightened, it's given more access, and now it's more dangerous because she's doing it with real people's lives are involved, and it's almost like Harry is being slowly chipped away at with with a butter knife all the time, constantly. And it's almost like, when will he understand? Oh, he's been cut. He's slowly having these things happen to him. And he's not really woken up to the idea that it's his wife doing it, or maybe he doesn't want to realize she's the one doing it. And I mean, I can only imagine what the king and, you know, his family, what they are thinking, understanding that this is happening, because don't get it twisted. They know this is happening with Harry. He is declining. He is completely not who he used to be, going from being one of the beloved royals to being one of the least beloved royals says a lot about what Meghan has done to this man. And Harry is in a situation now that this is becoming seriously a life and death situation for him. He needs someone to slap him out of his stupidness and understand this woman does not have your best interests. The sooner the better. It is an emergency, okay? It's almost like someone being addicted to drugs. And I mean, well, we know he is. I mean, I think he has some drug issues, but you combine that with what Meghan is doing, this is...
Yeah, and I mean, he's admitted that he's got drug issues. He can try and shrug them off as much as he wants. But the reason why that he's in trouble potentially because of the Heritage Foundation case against him is because he admitted all of his illegal drug issues in Spare. Now, of course, ganja, marijuana, whatever you call it, it's not illegal anymore in California, is it, P. Dinah? But it is illegal in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, yes, it is. And, I think it just leads to other things that he's doing. I mean, how much can you cope? I mean, in one of those photos when they were at the Beyonce concert, he looked completely miserable. This man is not doing well. He looks like he is exhausted. It's constantly trying to prove one thing when the reality, when he's alone with this woman, is completely different than what he knows his reality to be. And at what point do you start to make moves to get out of that before it's too late? I think at this point, it probably is too late for him, because I know his family just doesn't want anything to do with him again, because we have to remember, he did say he wants to reconcile with his family, but yet, like, you allow yourself to still be controlled by this woman. The only way to reconcile with his family is to not be with Meghan anymore. So imagine, the decision that he has to make, his family or this woman.
Yes, but even then, Dinah, because I absolutely believe that, say, pre-Oprah interview, or maybe actually even pre-Spare, it was as simple as that. It was a simple equation. Look, you get rid of Meghan, we'll welcome you back with open arms. That has really changed, P. Dinah, especially from within Prince William and Catherine's world, because look, you can say Meghan's to blame for a lot of it. And of course, she's manipulated him. And of course, she has been a big part of it. But that book was in his name and his name only, P. Dinah. And it was that book where he crossed all of the red lines, because the red lines were about Camilla, the red lines were about Catherine, the red lines were about the late Queen. He crossed all of them. I mean, the only red line he didn't cross was accusing his own family of being racist, which of course his wife did in the Oprah interview, and then he tried to pretend that had never happened. So that was the only red line he didn't cross. But I just don't think it's a simple equation anymore. I think it definitely was in the past a simple equation of, look, okay, Harry's going to get bored of this woman, he'll come back, we'll look after him at that point. I just don't see it in that way anymore from my discussions with royal sources, because I think so much damage has been done that it would take much, much more for Harry to ever be welcomed back into the fold, even if Meghan wasn't part of it. But look, there was one other thing I wanted to touch on with you, P. Dinah, from this Maureen Callahan podcast, and it was about the risk of the P. Diddy trial, which Meghan Markle hasn't seemed to have got her head around by attempting to cozy up with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Watch this.
Trying to make it seem like she and H are like super tight with Beyonce and Jay and her, and like, think ahead, okay, Meghan? Think ahead for once. The Diddy trial is underway in New York City as we speak. I think Jay-Z, whatever, I think he's got a few concerns.
So is that a fair point from Maureen Callahan? It's like, Beyonce don't want anything to do with you anyway, Meghan, since you revealed her private text message in a humiliating fashion in the Netflix documentary. She's giving you a really crappy box, not the box that Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King are in, not the A-list box, like a box on a later date. So she's not keen to be seen with you or to associate with you anymore. That was very much in the past, all of these years ago when you were still in the royal family. And there's this connection to P. Diddy, which obviously Jay-Z has fully denied. And we know that he's taking legal action against the same lawyer that tried to come for P. Diddy. But what Maureen Callahan is basically saying, just stay out of this one. Like, you're not actually friends with Beyonce and Jay-Z. So maybe just think for once and try not to get too close to them at this very perilous point.
Yeah, doesn't it say a lot, though, about Meghan and her character, that she's trying to cozy up or be aligned with, Beyonce and her husband, the extension to then P. Diddy. And I mean, Meghan is trying to get into this life, penetrate this life that is so nefarious in so many things have happened that connect different people to Diddy. I mean, there's a lot of connections there, and I think there are a lot of people who are definitely nervous about things that will come out.
So are they trying to say that Diddy is running from Harry, her and Beyonce? Because Jay-Z and Beyonce is running from Harry because they don't want to be attached with the Diddy stuff since Harry was named in the lawsuit.
I think it's the other way around. I think they're trying to run away from, well, they should be trying to run away from Diddy because it's he's going to be dragged into it badly. Harry's name was sort of just a sidebar, not nothing really serious. But Diddy, Jay-Z might get really pulled in. So I think Harry and Meghan would be best to get running, get out of their sights. I don't know. I don't care. I'm sick of them.
Trying to say
out of this trial, but that's where Meghan's focus is. Like, she is laser focused on the things that are just blowing up before our eyes. I mean, a lot of people in Hollywood are going to have problems, and that's where Meghan's focus is, on Hollywood and connections to these celebrities. Like, she is blindly trying to follow this limelight that,
right.
it's just not going to be a good relation for her. I mean, she needs to focus on her character. She needs to go disappear. She needs to kind of just disappear and go away for a little bit, because nothing that she's trying to get is worth her life, is worth her reputation, is worth anything. It just seems so pointless, and she's aimlessly trying to do things in this celebrity world that is.
She is trying her best to be liked by everybody. See how cool I am? I'm at the Beyonce concert. And now she wants all the Beehive people to start liking her.
Can't you see how silly it is? 1 minute she's at a Beyonce concert, the next minute she's arranging flowers. It all seems kind of ludicrous.
She's ludicrous.
Yeah. She doesn't make any sense.
She
I don't know
doesn't.
what she wants.
She better get in there and make some more jam.
Yeah. Someone says she's going to start some lemon products.
How do you run out? And then you run out, but then you're not making any more.
But who's making it? Is she making it in her little kitchen?
No, some production company.
Well, whereabouts is that production company? I want to know. Is it in China?
Well, it won't last long.
What are you eating?
Some grapes and crackers and cheese.
Nice. Oh dear, I try to sew something and it's not working out.
Slowly dying. And what does that say about what their future will be? Your future is going to a dead end, and it's not going to yield you any results that are going to be worth it. And people around you, your husband, children. I mean, it's really quite sad that this outcome is going to be played before the whole world. We are going to watch it because Meghan is going to make sure of that, because that's what's important to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating.
But first, some struggle to fall asleep, others struggle to stay asleep.
Oh, he's merging again.
Check out to save 15%. But now, back to the show. But what I also find fascinating, P. Dinah, is just look at that picture again. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they were desperate to be involved with Meghan Markle when she was within the British royal family. Now, not so much. And I think that says a lot. P. Dinah, there has also been a revelation this week, which I found absolutely hilarious, from Michael Knowles in the Daily Wire, regarding the fact that this clip that has gone viral from the Jamie Kern-Lima interview, and the thing is, I almost predicted that this would happen because we covered that interview at the time, right? And there were so many horrendous moments, but some of them you couldn't actually do justice to because it went on for so long and it was so bad. And so this week, End Wokeness, that brilliant X account, made the moment where Meghan was talking about the power of yet go viral. If you haven't seen it, don't worry, this is very short. You've just got to stick with us for 15 seconds, I promise, because I know this podcast drives people up the wall. But just a very quick
the lottery yet. My business hasn't gotten traction yet. No one's picked up my book proposal yet.
Yes.
I haven't found my soulmate yet. Everything is yet.
Nobody likes me yet.
The power of yet.
I mean, P. Dinah, it's got to be one of the most cringeworthy podcast moments ever, right?
Yeah, she is insufferable, this woman. I mean, Meghan, we see you, okay? We see you are cringe.
See you, girl.
You are so annoying at times.
They're cringeworthy.
How do you think you are going to have anyone try to fall and think, oh, she's really a good person? It's like, I just sit and I watch you try, and I sit and watch you try to make sense of all these things that you talk about, and it falls flat. It goes nowhere. And Meghan just needs to stop trying to be this relatable person with this, no makeup, which she does have on makeup. She just doesn't seem to be able to be someone that people are drawn to like, because we see all the behind the scenes, dirty, underhanded things that she does. And for the life of me, I don't understand why she would even do this podcast. like this picture here with the tears, there were no tears. It's like, do you know we can see you? Do you understand that we are watching you make?
We can see you, girl. Dale, we can see her.
I can see her. I can see all her makeup. I couldn't see her freckles.
She tried. She wants us to like her.
We don't.
We don't.
No. We don't like her at all.
She's not likable. She's not relatable.
Hey, did I send you those photographs of Jamie Lee Curran when she was on Baywatch and when she was a beauty queen winner and all that?
No.
Oh, I must send them to you. Because
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curran is a big fake. And she doesn't talk like that at all.
Oh, really? She didn't made up that voice.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't talk like that at all. She talks like a normal person. Well, as far as normal is.
Meghan, I just love your hair.
Let's see. I'll send them to you. Hang on. I'll send them to you on your well, I don't know. I suppose I'll go off if I do that.
How are Harry and Meghan making money? Her jams are doing $1 million business. Harry doesn't work. Where do they get their money? Good question.
Yeah, good question.
They're not. That's why she's selling her clothes, right, Dale?
Yeah. I don't know where she gets her money from. Uh-oh. I lost the needle. It is.
Judith, I have a huge issues with their lack of self-awareness. To say that they cannot read a room is an understatement. My goodness. I mean, who is that tone deaf? Meghan? That was
no one tells them the truth.
I like that. Right. She's manipulative.
I think she's just a publicity whore. She just likes, as she said, negative criticism and positive criticism all go down the same drain. So she doesn't care what people say about her, whether it's good or bad, as long as they're talking about her.
Right.
That's all she cares about. And they are talking about her, and so she's happy.
Yeah, they are talking about her.
They can say rotten things, and she just goes, "Oh yeah, lovely. Oh, they're talking about me. They're talking about me."
Yep.
Oh, the whole thing's mad. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Harry's involved in it. I don't know why the whole royal family let it go on this long. I know the
Yeah.
royal family's got a lot of secrets, and maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe
Wow.
it's blackmail, or maybe it's distraction from what's really going on. But something's up. I smell a giant rat. But we won't know for years, because when Mrs. Simpson and the old king went off to live in the Bahamas or somewhere, they kept kept doing interviews and turning up.
Wow.
No one said anything. So Meghan and Harry will just keep on turning up.
Yep, they will until the money runs out.
Yeah. Oh well. That's why they'll keep turning up, to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting very bored with it all. I want some new scandal.
Wow, there's a lot of scandal going on.
A fool
Is
of
there? What
yourself.
else is going on?
Meghan is the kind of person that you
Meghan
see
and
her
Harry
coming a
is
mile away,
scandal.
and you just look at
The
her with the
Diddy is
side
the
eye all day.
scandal.
Woman, are you serious? Okay, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do, Meghan? Okay.
Totally. But that was assuming, P. Dinah, that the power of yet was a new concept. And yeah, it would have been absolutely horrendous and awful to watch, but at least it would have been something new, because Meghan hasn't done anything new, has she? Like Confessions of a Female Founder, literally ripped off from some poor, hapless, woke 18-year-old in Ireland.
Oh my
With
God.
Love, Meghan, whole concept so obviously ripped off from Pamela Anderson's cooking series. But even this phrase Michael Knowles of the Daily Wire revealed was also not originally Meghan's or Jamie Kern-Lina's.
Whose was it?
Some girl on a TED
Again,
Talk.
I want to gouge out my ears while Meghan Markle is speaking. The power of yet. Let's be as fair as we can. She's proposing an idea, the power of yet, which is just a kind of blind optimism that things will turn around. Even if one's life is not progressing as one would like, it'll just turn around as long as we just keep thinking positively. The power of yet. That's at least a marketable phrase, right? That phrase is not even Meghan Markle's own phrase. That phrase comes from a 2014 TED Talk by some lady named Carol Dweck.
And guess what? He even tracked down Carol Dweck's speech. Look.
Wow.
Instead of luxuriating in the power of yet, they were gripped in the tyranny of now.
So it's not. It's not an original idea. She just
Not an
ripped off this
original
phrase from this
idea.
lady, Carol Dweck. It wasn't particularly interesting when Carol Dweck said it 11 years ago. And one does not need to knock Meghan Markle for not having an original idea. No one pretty much has an original idea. But the ideas that she is then promoting are not even great ideas. It'd be one thing if she went on some podcast and said, well, you know, here's what Aristotle had to say about something. Oh, you know, here's a really interesting line from Euripides. I don't know. Something that stood the test of time. No. She's ripping off really shallow ideas from shallow self-help YouTube videos. Why? Why does this woman have a podcast? Why does she have a show? Why?
Yeah.
Why? The power, you know, these women, these people should not have shows.
No.
And yet they do, and that's an injustice. And the only way that I will be able to console myself is with the power of yet. That their shows haven't been canceled yet. Meghan Markle has not been silenced in public life yet.
Oh, P. Dinah, so much to pick up on there. So 2 questions from me. Firstly, does she genuinely have a original idea ever? Because I sure haven't seen anything from her work to suggest
No.
that she does.
There's not an original
And secondly,
idea.
is this the reason that the podcast has been such a flop? Because despite having more publicity than any podcast in the world, and
That's not a new concept. It's not a new concept. She's not coming up with new ideas. The jam is not a new jam idea. Being on Instagram, selling your clothes.
That's a new idea.
Well, the Kardashians are doing it.
Those Kardashian. Have you seen Kris Kardashian's new face? She's had a new plastic surgery job.
Oh, did she mess
she looks
herself up?
Huh?
She messed herself up.
No, she looks great. Just doesn't look like her.
Oh, good.
She looks very strange,
Ooh.
but very young.
She looks
for
good.
her. Yeah, she looks good, but it just looks like somebody else.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
Yeah,
You know, she's
good
trying
for
to
her.
stay young for her husband.
Has she got a husband? I don't think she has got a husband. Is she married to
she's
somebody?
married to Corey.
And that they showed a video last night about them talking about going to a Diddy party years ago, and it was revolting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, oh, it was fantastic. Everybody was there. Bieber was there. Kusha was there. This is when everybody was still alive. And
Right.
and it was dreadful. And the young, the oldest one, the one that's just got married and had a baby to that drummer, she was saying, oh, it was fantastic. Oh, did you do everything? And the older woman, the one that, the big tall one said, oh, yeah, we did everything. We did everything. You know what we did.
Wow.
Oh, God. How revolting can you get?
I know.
We did everything. All right. Okay.
We did everything.
What do people
We
do
know
at
what
these parties?
everything is.
Must have a horrible, there must be a horrible party. And it's been going on because I don't think Diddy's going to get into trouble. He didn't do anything. They've only got him on, I don't know, some sort of conspiracy or something. Really minor
You guys
charge.
want to finish watching Nancy Gray? She has some information on Harry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm getting hungry. I've got to go and get some breakfast.
I know, I was hungry. Somebody's
Oh,
gonna be in here in a minute talking about, Mommy.
Gotta get something to eat.
Her mind. The drugs helped her with the pain. The drugs helped her forget things. She's on certain things. She talked about being on Suboxone, which is a drug to help you get off an opiate addiction. These are things that start, believe it or not, with the boyfriend giving the drugs to the girlfriend, and the next thing she becomes addictive. I see that happening in this thing because these drugs took her to a whole different level that took her into a world where she was numb and didn't probably know what was going on to her or going on to her. And then the next day coming to reality and starting to have these text messages and trying to keep light of it because she was afraid of him. Yes, it was a 10-year relationship. Of course it was. But a lot of
11 years.
She was scared to death to get away from him because of his power, his money, and his connection in the music world.
You know, Crispin, it's hard to understand. It's hard for people that haven't lived through it to understand. And I was saying earlier today, I worked at the Battered Women's Center as a volunteer for 9 years at night and prosecuted during the day on the hotline, right? And there were many times I thought, why don't you just leave? I almost blurted that out, but they had trained me, don't do that. Don't do that. Because think about it, Crispin. Think, what would you do to hold on to your children, your home, your job. I mean, you've built up a reputation over all the years with the DEA, with the task force, with the Department of Justice. What if you were going to lose it all? What would you do? I mean, I would do just about anything to keep my twins, to hell with everything else, but I would do anything to keep custody of them. But when you're in the position of thinking you're going to lose everything, and remember, she started with him when she was 19-ish years old, and no drugs, no alcohol problem, nothing like that. So fresh-faced, right? And you can see over the years what happened. But that's the way these victims think. What they're going to lose if they don't go along with it.
It's exactly what I said. And that's probably why she started doing all the drugs. And that's why she got addicted. And let me tell you what's important about her testimony today about bringing up Jonathan Otis, because that was a statement from, don't hold me to this, 2018? This wasn't any part of Rule 35 or a 5K1 in the federal system, meaning I'm going to give a statement and tell you something so I can get credit. This was an off-the-cuff comment during a law enforcement interview where he brings up things he did with Casey and Diddy. That has a lot of credibility. And let me tell you something. People in our industry, some of my best witnesses were the worst defendants because they're out there, they're in the field, they're in the mix, they're at these parties, they're doing drugs, but they're a wealth of knowledge. This just came up in an interview. I find a lot of credibility. I like him as a witness, and I would put him on the stand.
Okay, hold that thought just a moment. Be careful what you ask, for you may surely get it on the stand. Let's take a look at what he's talking about. And all of you ladies out there, I want you to look at Jonathan Odie and think, would I willingly have sex with this guy? Think about it. Watch.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land over contracts. It's these attorneys. My settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued. So I let it be, but they've been following me, and they've had, Mark Garrick has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up as an extortionist, like if I was extorting Sean for money.
Let me go out to a shrink. I need a shrink. Dr. Cheryl Errett joining us, a clinical forensic psychologist specializing in trauma recovery, PTSD, and more at AskDrCheryl.com. Dr. Cheryl, thank you for being with us. I wanted you to see the Jonathan Odie bite, okay? Because this is back in, I'm pretty sure, 2018. Sydney, jump in if I've got the wrong date. Look at this guy. So you think this 21-year-old girl willingly wants to have sex with this guy on video? Yeah, I don't think so. But I'd like you to respond. And everything he says, I'm going to circle back.
I got a call coming in. I'll be back.
I want to ask you, Dr. Cheryl, what this means, because everything he was saying in 2018, nobody believed him. They thought he was a nut, talking about how does Garagos get up in everything, that Garagos was after him, that he signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, that he couldn't talk about what had happened with Sean Combs. But he said then that Sean Combs would force him to have sex with Cassie Ventura while Combs sat back and masturbated and watched and talked on his phone. He was telling the truth, according to prosecutors.
Yes, and he does seem credible for all the reasons your previous guest said. We need to remember that consent is a free yes. And in order for something to be consent, you have to be also equally able to say no. And if you are not free to say no, it's not a free yes. When we're looking at the video that's being shown right after Cassie tried to leave after the FO or the freak off, those beatings, the control with the phone, the control over her career, the control over who she could see, these power and control dynamics, these are what happened when she tried to leave. So this does not look anything like a free yes. And it's interesting that they're not disputing the domestic violence itself, but they're saying that's not what he's charged with. Well, that's because that would be a state charge, and these are federal charges. And the fact of the domestic violence and the video evidence of the domestic violence sure seems to indicate the way that these power and control tactics were enforced. So this was not a free yes. This was not somebody saying, yes, I want to do this. And statistically, as you know, from working in the battered women's shelters, the time that is most dangerous for a battered woman is when she tries to leave, because that's when things get most violent. So a person's life is in most danger when they do try to escape their abuser.
Yeah.
State versus Sean Combs in full swing today in the Monahan Federal Courthouse in Manhattan. Joining us outside the courthouse, Lauren Conlon. Lauren, first of all, tell me more about what happened in court today.
It was an intense day with Cassie finishing up her cross-examination on the stand. What the defense seemed to be doing was really poking holes in quite a few of her statements, really trying to discredit her.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Lauren, but when you say poking holes in her testimony, you and I may disagree on whether a hole has really been poked in her testimony. So what exactly are you talking about?
There was a few instances where we saw text messages between Diddy and Cassie, where during direct examination, Cassie said one thing. For example, she said that Diddy would force her to do freak-offs during her period. During the cross-examination, we saw actual multiple text messages with Diddy and Cassie, with him asking her when she was getting her period for planning purposes.
Straight out to Sydney Sumner joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. It was my understanding that the specific words were Cassie in a text stated she was ovulating.
I believe that's correct, Nancy. Diddy asked Cassie permission to set up freaky fun, and her response was limited to one word, ovulation. That sounds like a no, because she was worried about possible pregnancy while not using condoms.
You know, another thing, Sydney Sumner, there's a big difference. And there's a big difference in saying, hey,
because Cassie told us that he would make her have intercourse while she was on her menstrual cycle. And so now they're trying to say that he was trying to get ahead of it or find out what's going on with it, saying that, are you on it, so we can plan for it. I didn't get that. I don't remember hearing that in court. What do you guys think? Yeah, I do too. Nancy Grace on every episode. Her murdered fiance. Oh, okay. So, with the support of her new husband now. Good evening, Diana. Welcome. She did? I didn't think she did that, Christine. I thought that they went out to dinner. They were going to meet up. They were planning to meet up, but they never did. Me neither. I didn't even know Cassie existed until she filed a lawsuit. I didn't know that they were dating. She had to be available 24/7. All right.
Let's get together and have a freak off if you're not on your period, as opposed to saying, I'm ovulating, and then he makes her do it anyway. That's not the same thing. Isn't
Right.
it true that Cassie Ventura testified he would force her to do freak offs with other men, sex workers, transported in from other states when she was on her period?
That's what she testified to in her direct examination, Nancy.
Okay, to Brett Brown joining me, executive director of Surviving Assault Standing Strong. It's a nonprofit to eradicate trafficking and abuse on girls and women. It seems to me that every way he could embarrass her, every way he could humiliate her or debase her, that's what he did. And yes, I know that she texted back as a willing participant at the beginning of their relationship when she's a young girl and he's like almost 20 years older than her, orchestrating all this. But so often, Brett, we see the victim going along because they feel like they don't really have a choice.
Right.
Oh, yeah, she absolutely had to go along. It's ludicrous to me that the defense is even using these texts, because the reality is this is a man she could never be honest with.
Right.
So she had to answer every time he texted, and she had to say whatever she could to keep him from beating her. And that's true in her text directly to him and to his circle around him. He had an army of enablers allowing all of this to take place. If anything stands out to me in her text, she said a few things. That one, she needed to feel safe in order to participate in the freak offs, that the freak offs left her feeling grimy, and that the intimacy felt different than when they first started dating, when they were in love, which means that at some point, Sean Combs' real personality emerged in this so-called relationship, and she did not feel safe. She did not feel loved. She felt grimy and used, and then she was beaten for it when she tried to express that. So these exchanges back and forth are not really an accurate depiction of what this relationship is like. I think the most accurate depiction would be the video footage from the hotel.
Back to Lauren Cullen at the courthouse. Was there mention of drugs used by both parties?
They really seem to focus on Cassie's drug use and the fact that she did do drugs quite often without Diddy present. And the defense said things like, well, Miss Ventura, isn't it true that Mr. Combs wanted you to do less drugs and he was mad when you would do drugs with your friends? And Cassie said, no, he was mad when I would do drugs without him. They also seem to blame or they seem to allude a lot of the blame on his violent behavior due to the fact that he was coming down from opioids or withdrawing from opioids.
Okay, hold on just a moment. They've got a $10 million defense team. But don't they know the law about voluntary use of drugs or alcohol? Straight out to a veteran trial lawyer joining us, Eric Faddis, founding partner of Varner Faddis Elite Legal, former felony prosecutor. Faddis, voluntary use of drugs or alcohol is never a defense. If it were, everybody in the Fulton County Courthouse would walk free by saying, oh, I was high at the time. Sorry, bye. No, that is not a defense. So arguing that Diddy acted out, I mean, that's like eating a dirt sandwich, acted out. In other words, beat her, committed felonies because he was high or coming down off drugs. That's not going to work under the law, Faddis.
Yeah, Nancy, surely not a defense to any of these charges. When it comes to criminal defense, you have statutory defenses and you have non-statutory defenses, which are just things defense attorneys kind of come up with and that they think is going to mitigate their client's blame, their client's culpability. I think what they were hoping for is to try to suggest to this jury that it wasn't, the real Diddy who was committing these things. It was some Diddy who was hopped up and intoxicated on drugs. Does that really excuse his behavior? Legally, no. Could it mitigate it in the eyes of some jurors? That remains to be seen.
Okay, yeah. Everything that you just said is BS because you said that there are statutory defenses. In other words, accepted defenses like it was an accident, it was self-defense, it wasn't me, I have an alibi. Those are, as you're calling them, statutory or accepted defenses that actually work. That's what that means. Then you mentioned something about non-statutory defenses. This is where I'm calling BS on you, Faddis. Non-statutory defenses. Like this one, I tried a homicide. There were two defendants.
You didn't have a career?
Two defense lawyers ganging up on me, and one of them came up with transferred intent. I'm like, what is that? And he actually argued. I was so happy. I tried not to smile. He actually argued to the jury. Yes, I gunned down the victim, but it was the wrong person. I meant to shoot somebody else. I meant to shoot a drug dealer, not a 12-year-old boy coming home from band practice. So he admitted he shot somebody down, an unarmed person. Okay? Is that what you're calling a non-statutory defense? In other words, a defense that doesn't work? Ooh. Because the law is black and white letter of the law. Voluntary use of drugs or alcohol is not a defense. You said something about it's just something they make up, hoping to mitigate liability or culpability in front of a jury. Did I get that right? Because I'm loving this.
Well, there is the letter of the law, and then there are kind of shades of gray that emerge in the practice of law. What I'm talking about are defenses that fall into the category of zealous advocacy that might not be enumerated in some statute. But I think an example of that in this case too is where defense is saying that Cassie was also violent towards Diddy. That's not a defense to sex trafficking, but it is something that the jury might consider in deciding who was to blame here.
It looks like control room. I need to show Faddis the Intercontinental Hotel Cassie beat down again. Faddis, I want you to train your eyes on your monitor. Okay. Now, does this look like Cassie Ventura, 90 pounds soaking wet, has ever been the aggressor? Right? Yeah. You're telling me
not in this
that it's
video.
Cassie Ventura? She's the one giving him a good old-fashioned booty beating?
Right.
He's the one taking a whipping right there. Okay, so I should believe you and not my lying eyes. Is that what you're saying? Did you actually say Cassie Ventura was the violent one?
Well, it is not my defense. I think it's what defense attorneys might argue, and it sort of dovetails into them bringing up Cassie being threatening and threatening to kill this guy, which you referenced earlier. I think it's sort of a narrative that defense is trying to run to show that, hey, she wasn't this meek little mouse who would just go along with what anybody said. She stood up for herself, and surely that video is not an example of that. But defense is saying there are examples of that.
Hello, guys. Hit the channel.
Please join us.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
On our mission to find missing people, especially children, to solve.
Life like a movie, and he's the director and the star.
Straight out to Sydney Sumner joining us along with Lauren Collin with the very latest from the courtroom. Sydney Sumner, what else did you learn from the testimony today?
Nancy, an interesting part of testimony was listening to a recording of Cassie threatening to kill someone who had possibly seen a sexually explicit video of her. Now, Cassie was talking to a DJ at a party in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and he mentioned that he had seen what she assumed was a freak-off tape featuring her. Now, she goes into panic mode. She texts Diddy about it. He's telling her to get as much information as she can. They're trying to put wraps on this without involving their crisis management team because nobody knows about these freak-offs. It's just her and Combs, allegedly, at least.
So every single thing she's ever done or said, the very worst, is coming out in court. You know, Robert Crispin, again, we're not talking about nuns and priests and virgins. That's not who's up on the stand right now. Yes, Cassie is about to give birth to her third child. She's a married lady. But there was a time that she did drugs with Sean Combs, and she was in freak-offs, she says, at his demand.
Wow.
Are you surprised that a woman said, I'm going to kill you if you publicize a video of me in a freak-off with paid sex workers? I am going to kill you. There will not even be a smudge of you left behind. Listen to me. Are you that surprised that she said that?
I'm not surprised at all, Nancy. This is her reaction to someone who's about to destroy her life. She's never had to deal with this before. And it's a spontaneous utterance to this person about, hey, I'm going to kill you about this tape. She didn't mean that. I doubt she meant that at all.
Right.
But she's in a world, and this tape's about to go out. It's going to ruin her career. It's going to ruin her singing, anything to do with movies. This is a problem for her.
And you got to think about it. I mean, think about it. Dr. Cheryl Errett joining us, clinical forensic psychologist, who put her in that position to start with. I mean, Dr. Cheryl, you're so prim and proper. Let me just ask you, have you ever shot a bird at somebody in traffic? Just even once?
I must confess, yes. I absolutely have.
Okay.
I
Now,
have.
What
I
if
have.
that person had a video going of you and you had this angry face, and you're making an angry face and you shoot a bird and they get it on video and threaten to put it on your hack into your website and publicize it? That one moment where you're angry and you react. And here this is getting brought in front of a jury. I mean, nobody's giving this woman a break at all. And I get it. The defense has got to try to discredit her, but I really feel for her.
Wow.
I do too. Women are expected to be perfect victims.
Mm-hmm.
If women are not perfect when they're being victims, they're not believed. They're very often it's mitigating for the perpetrator. And I think what we're seeing here very often are fawning responses. What we're learning is that everybody knows about fight or flight, but one of the other things that the nervous system does to survive a situation is fawn. When you can't escape and you have a perpetrator there, and you know if you fought back that things got more violent, which she has testified to, wanting to be pleasing, wanting to not make the perpetrator angry, wanting him to see you as human or remember that he cared about you. These are survival responses that the autonomic nervous system does.
Yes, that's right.
This is the body saying, this is how I'm going to survive.
Brett Brown joining me, Executive Director, Surviving Assault, Standing Strong. How about both things are true? I'm not claiming that Cassie Ventura is an angel, that she's never done anything wrong.
Right.
And yes, I think she did threaten that person, threatened to kill them if they released a video of her butt naked having sex with paid sex workers brought into the jurisdiction by Sean Combs. Yeah, I think she said, I'm going to kill you. And then he's going to kill you all over again. I think that happened. So can that be true? And can it be true that Sean Combs forced her and others, there's going to be other female victims on the stand, to participate in freak-offs? Transported sex workers in from other states, which is interstate prostitution, which is a federal crime in the indictment, and had a loose federation, his cronies, that made all this happen, that went to go buy the baby oil, that set up the lighting, that arranged travel for the sex workers. All those people are part of RICO. Everybody getting together, even loosely, to make something illegal happen, right? So can both those things be true? Can she have threatened to kill somebody and he's guilty?
Yes, both of those things definitely are true. And I think we're missing a really important part here when it comes to that video footage and this DJ when she yelled at him and said, "I'm going to kill you." It's more than just her feelings about being exposed for being a part of these freak-offs. Remember who she has to answer to. Sean Combs said, "Find out as much as you can to stop this from happening." If that video got leaked, guess who was going to pay for it? It wasn't going to be that DJ. It was going to be Cassie Ventura, and she knew that. So when we're talking about her feelings, and I really hate using that word in this instance, that was fear. She had to make it stop, and she had to do it convincingly. And where did she learn those threats from? She learned it from somebody who does them very, very well. Additionally, it's so fascinating to me, especially when we talk about shades of gray in the law, as was mentioned earlier, this discrediting of the victim. There's this weird cultural thing where by putting up anything she's been a part of, drugs, whatever, that don't make her a perfect person, which none of us are, what they're actually saying is somehow your choices and your less than perfect moments make it okay for someone to force you and to rape you and to do all of these horrible things. That's what we're actually hearing.
Horrible.
We are standing by at the courthouse with the latest to Sydney Sumner. Baby oil again in the courtroom. Why?
Nancy, that was brought up again to dispel a few rumors surrounding this case. So Cassie testifies that drugs were never in the baby oil that was used in the freak-offs. The baby oil was not laced with anything. It was just baby oil. They did take drugs
okay, wait, Sid, you're telling me there were no drugs in the baby oil. It was just old school on camera. Okay, that makes it all better. There's still the claims, the allegations, and supported by many, many female victims that they had a few sips of a drink and suddenly they woke up with their turning because their drinks had been laced with GHB or something akin to gamma hydroxybutyrate. But back to the baby oil, listen.
Cassie says Combs wanted her glistening at all times and had her reapply heated baby oil as often as every 5 minutes. And during one performance, even made her get into a kiddie pool of baby oil. Afterwards, staff members were charged with cleaning up, but with baby oil and bodily fluids all over the floors, walls, and door handles, Combs was frequently charged for damages to hotel rooms. Negotiations handled by Combs' assistants.
Okay, it doesn't end there. Harvey Levin, our friend over at TMZ, got a hold of Agnafello, the lead defense attorney, about baby oil. Listen.
They call them freak-offs. But, you know, back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. You know, I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. I mean, have you sat in a parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
Not 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was. Let's just say it's a lot. Okay.
Okay, that's from our friends at TMZ. That is the lead defense attorney getting, let me just say, a ring job from Harvey Levin.
Attorney. Wow.
Another day in the federal courthouse in Manhattan. Sean Combs on trial in a multi-count federal indictment, including RICO and sex trafficking. To Sydney Sumner, how did Prince Harry, how did he get sucked in to Diddy's cesspool?
Well, Nancy, Prince Harry was mentioned right at the beginning of this case exploding. So we saw Cassie file suit against Sean Combs in November of 2023. And then the next big lawsuit came from Rodney Little Rod Jones. This was a producer that was working with Combs on his latest album. And he filed a 73-page lawsuit against Sean Combs. And in that lawsuit, he mentioned that Combs' connections to big celebrities and even British royalty gave him legitimacy so that he could use his parties and his events to cover up crimes like freak-off parties.
And now Prince Harry, love him or hate him and his wife Meghan, and love her or hate her, at least she's got a job, right? At least she's working. Let's just put that out there. Court documents revealing Prince Harry claimed front page stories about him and Diddy had, quote, hugely negative impact on his mental health and that of his wife and children. Who wants to be on the front page of a magazine with Diddy at a party? I don't. So now Diddy has sucked Prince Harry into his sex trafficking claim cesspool. This as Justin Bieber makes a bombshell announcement after a lot of speculation. He had been abused by Sean Combs. He comes out and says, no, I was never abused by Sean
What did
Combs.
Harry
The
say?
next big lawsuit came from Rodney Little Rod Jones. This is a producer that was working with Combs on his latest album. And he filed a 73-page lawsuit against Sean Combs. And in that lawsuit, he mentioned that Combs' connections to big celebrities and even British royalty gave him legitimacy so that he could use his parties and his events to cover up crimes like freak-off parties.
And now Prince Harry, love him or hate him and his wife Meghan, and love her or hate her, at least she's got a job, right? At least she's working. Let's just put that out there. Court documents revealing Prince Harry claimed front page story.
Prince Harry responds to Diddy claims. Prince Harry denies any involvement with Sean Combs and has never been charged on or named in Sean Combs' federal sex trafficking case.
Stories about him and Diddy had, quote, hugely negative impact on his mental health and that of his wife and children. Who wants to be on the front page of a magazine with Diddy at a party? I don't. So now Diddy has sucked Prince Harry into his sex trafficking claim cesspool.
Yes,
This
he has.
as Justin Bieber makes a bombshell announcement after a lot of speculation. He had been abused by Sean Combs. He comes out and says, no.
Harry being named in the lawsuit. Period. He's being named in the lawsuit. His name is in the lawsuit. Yeah, it was SCJ. I agree with you. Susan, Sean Atwood guest said the baby oil was laced with drugs. Yep. Sean Atwood is a crook and a crook guest. Cassie is the closest witness, of course, and was under oath. Sean may have had some bad guests, but I respect him and have done research on him going back for years. I like Atwood too. Oh my God, Meghan has a job. She does. Susan, his drug deal stuff is legit, but that's about it in regards to what I've seen on YouTube. Sue Clark, I wouldn't consider Meghan to be gainfully employed. Me neither. I second that. I want to go get some ice cream when I'm done. Yes. Haha, Sue. Christine. Oh my goodness, do some research, Nancy. I thought she was doing pretty good. Oh yeah, I heard Justin Bieber finally said something, but I haven't looked it up and watched anything. Let's see what he's saying. Phone is dead. Be right back. Okay. This world is a mess. It is, Judith. It is. Hello, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. And share the live. Share the live. And also, there's also, if you want to support the channel, with super chats or PayPal, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
I was never abused by Sean Combs. What else did he say, Sydney Sumner?
Justin acknowledged that many people maybe were victimized by Diddy and they deserve justice. But Justin says he never even really had a relationship with Combs. All of the videos that we've seen of him appearing with Combs were basically performances, and he really only had a relationship with Combs' children, Quincy and Justin.
You know, Crispin, second verse, same as the first. Nothing new under the sun. Once again, an alleged victim is being dragged through the mud.
Yes.
Same thing. It happens every time, Crispin. Don't you ever get tired of it?
Sadly, it happens all the time from these defense attorneys, and they try to turn.
And what is Harry talking about? His kids and Meghan. His kid, he's not telling his kid, Archie and Lilibet, I was hanging out with P. Diddy. They're going to find out when they get older anyway. Look, Snowdrop, look what I got. A little soft piggy wiggy that you gave me. Oh, my daughter. Thank you. Beaver is too afraid and too traumatized to talk. He was definitely groomed and said IMO. I believe so too, Susan. Oh, it's still this woman. Are they saying anything new? Yeah. Let's see. We're at the end.
Turn the jury against the victim to make the victim look like the bad person. I don't think it's going to work in this. I really don't. I think every single one of these questions that are going to her right now from the defense is turning off the jury. It really is. She is a true victim. I feel horrible for her. And I think the jury's going to start seeing through it as each of these other additional victims come forward. You're going to see a pattern. Everybody has a pattern. And I think it's all laying out right now. But yeah, jury, they're going to make their own determination. Trust me.
She's pretty.
I can only pray. Now we remember an American hero, police officer Stephen Plum, Warrington Township PD, Pennsylvania, passed away in the line of duty 8 years with law enforcement, survived by wife, now widow, Nancy, and children Andrew, Aiden, Wyatt, Emmett, and Francesca, sentenced to life without dad. American hero, Officer Stephen Plum. Thank you to our guests, but especially to you. Nancy Grace signing off. I'll see you tomorrow night, 6 to 9 o'clock sharp Eastern.
Thank you, Nancy. That was fun. All right, guys. That's the end of the road here. But I want to read some stars that I have started out saving. I got one from Judith. I have huge issues with their lack of self-awareness. This is Harry and Meghan. To say that they cannot read a room is an understatement. My goodness. I mean, who is that tone deaf? That's right, Judith. And Sue Clark. I wouldn't consider Meghan to be gainfully employed. Wonderful, wonderful. Harry is worried about his already humbling reputation, horrible reputation. That's right, Christine. Some people don't want to deal with all this mess. Yeah, but it's out there. I thought she's very pretty, very gorgeous. The highlights. Yeah, those were the highlights. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Probably around maybe 12 or 1 o'clock. Or if I do it earlier, I'll probably do it around 9 o'clock. Hello, Antonio. We can get together and do it then if you want to. But yeah. For the rest of the day, I'm going to go and hang out with my little fam. I want to thank all the mods and my subscribers and all the members. Thank you so much for being a member. It really, really helps the channel. Thank you so much. And hello, Antonio. And I hope you guys have a lovely evening. It's been so much fun. Have a wonderful evening. The hours just go by so quickly.